Hello, everyone. Welcome into the Rusty Bucket pregame show as we get set for tonight's men's basketball matchup between the Quakers of Wilmington and your Capital Crusaders. I'm Charlie Danis, everyone. I'll be bringing you the action tonight from the Capitol Center here in Bexley, Ohio. Another heartbreaking loss for the men's basketball team earlier this week. We'll get into that in just a moment. But we start with this big bit of news concerning Capital Athletics. It looks like the Crusaders are going to be looking for a new head football coach. Craig Candido has officially left the program to become a graduate assistant coach at Georgia Tech. He is now a member of the Yellow Jackets coaching staff. He was a former starting quarterback under Paul Johnson, the former head coach of the Naval Academy. Johnson has since then moved on to Georgia Tech, bringing with him that triple option offense that he made quite well known while with the midshipmen. So, again, the news, Craig Candido going to Georgia Tech. He will work primarily with the B-backs and the quarterbacks while with Georgia Tech. And from what I understand, it's a position in which Candido can move up the ranks. And, in fact, he might be the offensive coordinator for Georgia Tech in the not-too-distant future. We wish him well. In terms of how that affects Capital, well, obviously, they're going to be looking for a new head coach in the not-too-distant future. I was told by Capital SID Ryan Gasser earlier tonight that the search should be relatively quick, what with National Signing Day coming up here for college football. So as soon as we have information about who the next head football coach will be here at Capital, stay tuned for that. We will have all the news at athletics.capital.edu. Coming up, we'll have much more here on the Rusty Bucket pregame show. We'll take a look around the Ohio Athletic Conference, and you'll even hear my conversation with Capital head basketball coach Andy Winters, as his team really needs to get things turned around here as we enter the stretch run of OAC men's basketball. That is coming up in just a moment, but first, a quick timeout. Welcome back to the Capitol Center as we continue with the Rusty Bucket pregame show. Let's now take a look around the Ohio Athletic Conference. And, folks, we are entering the stretch run of the 2015-2016 basketball season. Coming into play tonight, Capital is tied for fourth place within the conference with Baldwin-Wallace. Both of those teams, the Yellow Jackets and Crusaders, with equal 5-5 records within conference play. John Carroll continues to be your leader in the clubhouse, so to speak. John Carroll 10-0 in OAC play. Marietta is in second place with a 9-1 mark, followed by Mount Union, who is 8-2. They're in third place. Heidelberg and Ohio Northern are 4-6. Muskingum and Wilmington are 2-8. In Otterbein, well, the Cardinals bring up the rear in this particular situation. They are 1-9 within OAC play. Let's now take a look at who took home Capital Player of the Week honors, and it turns out it was a Crusader. Capital senior guard Mark Minch, the Cincinnati, Ohio native, led the Crusaders to a 1-1 record last week, averaging 25 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 assists per game. He shot 64.5% from the field, including 2 of 4 from three-point range, and was 8 of 12 from the free throw line during that time. Minch continues to impress. This will be his only year here at Capital, the senior transfer from Ohio Dominican at the Division II level. Minch comes into play tonight second in the OAC, averaging 21.2 points per game, right behind Baldwin Wallace's Cam Kuhn. who has 22.1 points per game coming into play this evening. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, you'll hear my interview with head coach Andy Winters as his squad gets set to take on the Quakers of Wilmington. That is ahead here on the Rusty Bucket pregame show.
With 14 TVs to watch your favorite team or the next big event, Plank's Cafe and Pizzeria in German Village is ready for you and your group today. Plenty of free parking, free Wi-Fi, banquet rooms for private parties, and daily specials. What more reason do you need to visit Plank's Cafe and Pizzeria? Plank's is located at 743 Parsons Avenue and has been serving the Columbus community since 1939. Plank's is on the web at plankscafe.com or available by phone at 614-443-6251. Plank's Cafe and Pizzeria is a proud supporter of Crusader Athletics. Dill's Greenhouse is a local family business dedicated to offering the best shopping experience and honest prices for your gardening needs. If you're in need of annuals, perennials, vegetable plants, or any variety of gardening tools and resources, Dill's Greenhouse is more than happy to get you on the right path. Dill's Greenhouse is located at 5800 Rager Road in Groveport, Ohio, and is open 7 days a week. Visit them online for more information at dillsgreenhouse.net. Dill's Greenhouse, only nature does it better.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the pregame show as we get set for tonight's men's basketball game between Wilmington and Capital. I'm Charlie Danis, and joining me now, the head coach of the Capital men's basketball program, Andy Winters. Well, Coach, last time out, 91-87 loss to Ohio Northern. You made a game of it late after falling behind early against the Polar Bears. Was it too much of a mountain to climb? What happened there in the end against Ohio Northern?
The first half, they shot it really well, and we did a bad job of taking them out of their rhythm. And because of that, they got it going early. We actually came back from a large deficit and took the lead. But again, we talk about, basketball being a game of runs and having the momentum. And Ohio Northern took it back from us towards the end of the game, and we just kind of ran out of time and didn't make enough plays to come out on top.
When coaches look at the stat sheet, there's always that one stat or that one particular area that kind of bothers them. What was the one area that bothered you once you looked at the stats after that game?
Well, they shot 60% in the first half, 59.7 or something like that, and then ended the game with above 50% shooting. And again, that just tells you, defensively you weren't locked in and ready to play. So we had to take a step back and figure out what we're doing wrong and go back to the fundamentals defensively of why Capital has been great in the past, and we're really, working on that right now.
Mark Minch goes off for 26 points. Michael Green had 29 points. Those guys have been your two rock-steady seniors all season long. Who do you think needs to be that third option that can help Minch and Green out going forward?
Well, Kirk Geisy, coming in off the bench and now being a starter, and it's not necessarily on the offensive end. We've kind of labeled him our defensive stopper, and people forget, because defense doesn't have as many stats and awards as the offensive player gets, but that's 50% of the ball. So we talked to Curtis about being our bulldog and being our defensive stopper, and coming up big on the defensive end with plays that help us win. And that's kind of the third guy that we're looking to step up and make plays.
We're talking with Andy Winters here on the pregame show as his Crusaders get set to take on the Quakers of Wilmington. Coach, let's now talk about Wilmington. 3-12 overall in the season, 2-8 in OAC play. To say that it's been a rough season for the Quakers thus far is an understatement. Are they better than their record indicates? What does the tape tell you?
Well, I mean, they're very, very athletic. And, teams that are athletic and that play at different pace, always have a chance to beat anyone. They played a bunch of the top seeds, and they played, John Carroll to a close game. They played Marietta to an 8-point loss, and I think Mount Union was pretty close as well. So, playing good teams and staying with them, none of their losses have been significant. So it just kind of shows that they're very close to getting it, and they're not, to be taken lightly.
Zach McCorkle leads them in scoring with 14 points per game, also grabs 6.6 rebounds per game. What do you like about his game?
He can do it from down low with his back to the basket, but he can also hit a mid-range jumper. He can beat you off the dribble. He's an athletic big that creates problems for a lot of our bigs in our leagues who have traditional back to the basket guys. So he does a lot of things for their team, and he cleans up the offensive boards really well. He's a very good player for him.
McCorkle is their best forward. Their best guard, scoring-wise, is Christian Jones, 12.3 points per game. What challenges does he present for your defense tonight?
Well, he can shoot it end to end. He can drive it. So again, he can do a little bit of everything. He gets to the free throw line about 5-6 times a game. So he's attacking, and he's also making a lot of shots on the outside. So with a guy like that, you just have to take away and make everything tough, and just limit to what he does well, because he can do a lot of things well.
Last question, Coach. Tough stretch coming up with road games at Mount Union and Marietta. Then you get John Carroll at home, but first you got to take care of business against Wilmington. It'd be nice to get some home cooking going, right?
Yeah, you're playing at home, and hopefully we can get some momentum going into the second half of this season, and it'd be nice to get one at home, especially with this great cause for Coaches versus Cancer for Coach Goodwin, and kind of realizing what's most important right now, and that basketball is just a game, and there's more important things out there than that.
Well put, Coach. Well put. Well, good luck against Wilmington.
Thank you.
I'm head coach Andy Winters. Join us here on the pregame show. We'll have much more coming up after these words.
It's the perfect sports bar because it's not just a sports bar.
I'm Gary Calico, founder and president of Rusty Bucket. A lot of families build their sports world around the bucket.
It's not just a guy's night out. You can bring your wife, you can bring your kids.
We get a lot of groups in after games.
Great place after the game.
Kids love to come here.
The Rusty Bucket Restaurant and Tavern.
The Rusty Bucket is a proud supporter of the Capital Crusaders. Visit us after the game at 2158 East Main Street and grab life by the bucket. OSU Sports Medicine is a proud supporter of Crusader student-athletes by providing sports health services for Capital University athletics and student health services. Through the work and care of team physicians and athletic trainers, it's the team behind your team. For all fans, if you're looking to improve your physical performance, recover from an injury, or stay active for a lifetime, the experts at Ohio State Sports Medicine are there for you. Visit sportsmedicine.osu.edu or call 366-4332.
Welcome back to the Rusty Bucket pregame show, everyone, as we get set for tonight's men's basketball matchup between Wilmington and Capital. Let's now go ahead and set the table for Capital. This is brought to you by Pepsi. Live for now. Capital coming off of another frustrating win. There have been many games this season where the Crusaders, for whatever reason, have either fallen behind and rallied like crazy only to come up short, or they've had games where they lead at halftime only to have that lead slip away in the final minutes of regulation, thereby leading to a loss. The former happened on Wednesday night. Capital making the trek to Ohio Northern to take on the Polar Bears, and it was Capital falling to Ohio Northern in that game by a final of 91-87. Ohio Northern had a 53-46 lead over Capital at halftime, but it was Ohio Northern who ultimately came back and won the game. Capital was up by 1 point at one time, but that lead was short-lived as Capital suffered the loss. Capital dropped to 9-8 overall on the season, 5-5 within OAC play. Now, a couple of great games were played in that game for Capital. Michael Green had a fantastic performance, 29 points for the senior forward, also 26 points for Mark Mitch, who just continues to rise up and up and up that scoring list within the OAC. Pretty soon he'll probably pass Cam Kuhn, Baldwin Wallace for the scoring title within the OAC. But again, just another one of those frustrating losses for Capital where they seem to be right there, right on the cusp, trying to get a win within conference play, but they just weren't able to seal the deal. So Capital will try to reverse their fortune here as they welcome in Wilmington. We'll talk a little bit more about the Quakers after this quick timeout. You're listening to the Rusty Bucket pregame show.
I wanted to fly. They said I couldn't. So I built a plane, then a spaceship, then I went to the moon. I invented jazz, hip-hop, rock and roll. Some called it noise. I said it was music. I wrote a letter and sent it by ponies. It didn't get to you fast enough, so I used trucks and ships. But still, they weren't fast enough for me. So I lost the paper and the ink. I sent it by magic. I called it email. I made up new words: jukebox, bling, Google. And I decided some old words weren't okay to say ever again. The mustache. I tried to bring that back 17 times. I wore knickerbockers and shoulder pads, poodle skirts and flannel. When I came back from World War II, all I had was a t-shirt. So I made that cool. In fact, I invented cool. Who am I? I'm the spirit of youth. It's my job to move the world forward. Pepsi. Every generation refreshes the world.
We're back here on the Rusty Bucket pregame show. Let's now go ahead and set the table for Capital's opponent this evening, that being the Wilmington Quakers. This is brought to you by Capital Dining Services. Well, it has been quite the struggle for Wilmington this season. Quakers come into this game with an overall record of 3-12. Wilmington is also 2-8 within conference play. It also doesn't help that they only have a grand total of 12 players on their roster. Typically, a roster within the OAC contains upwards of maybe 15, 16, perhaps a maximum of 18 players on the roster, but they are really shorthanded personnel-wise, so that bears watching as we get set for tonight's game. For Wilmington, it's Zach McCorkle who is the player to watch out for tonight. McCorkle comes into this game averaging 14 points per game, also a hound on the glass, 6.6 rebounds per game as well. Decent free throw shooter, probably their best forward on their team. Their best guard has been Christian Jones. Jones, the junior, actually sophomore, out of Hamilton, Ohio, averaging 12.3 points per game. Could shoot a little bit better from three-point range, but they'll take what they can get from this young man. Again, 12.3 points per game. He has been their highest scoring guard. It's going to be interesting to see how the foul situation might affect a team like Wilmington, obviously being shorthanded. If the fouls pile up here for the Quakers, they might have no choice but to go to their bench tonight, which would certainly go in the favor of Capital this evening. Now, this will be a very special night here at the Capitol Center, and I will tell you why in just a moment here as I get my paper ready. The Ohio Athletic Conference and the North Coast Athletic Conference will be partnering to raise funds and awareness of cancer during Suits and Sneakers Week to honor Capital University head coach Damon Goodwin, who is currently battling hairy cell leukemia. The week of January 25th through the 30th marks the National Association of Basketball Coaches Suits and Sneakers Week, which promotes cancer awareness and raises funds for research. This week-long event is part of a nationwide collaboration between the American Cancer Society and the NABC called Coaches versus Cancer. Now, as part of the NABC's efforts, members of the OAC and NCAC will team up to raise funds in the name of Capital head coach Damon Goodwin, who is battling leukemia at this time. The funds raised during that 6-day span will be donated to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society and the American Cancer Society in his name. Now, Capital is going to contribute to the cause during tonight's game as they take on Wilmington. Those in attendance will have the opportunity to make a donation and exchange. Fill out a Coaches versus Cancer pledge card to help build a wall of hope inside the Capitol Center. Now, pledge cards will be available at the admissions table in the lobby this evening, and donations will go to the ACS. Guests are asked to keep their cards until halftime, when a recognition ceremony will occur after the players clear the court, and then a collection of cards will occur so the construction of the Wall of Hope can begin. Capital University and Capital Athletics will also be donating 50% of the money collected for game admission to the LLS during the game. Interim head coach Andy Winters and his staff will be sporting sneakers and orange ties in support of Suits and Sneakers Week. Now, folks, I saw Damon Goodwin last week walking around here during the women's basketball game. And I got to tell you, Coach Goodwin looks to be in great spirits, looks to be in good health as well. Hairy cell leukemia, one of those diseases that if you catch it real early, then you're able to treat it. You should be able to make a fair recovery. And from what I understand, even with him having been treated for this disease, having to go through all this treatment for much of the past couple of months, Coach Goodwin has done a very nice job of, I guess you could say, staying in the background, letting Coach Winters do his thing as the interim coach for Capital this season. Coach Goodwin still has his pulse on this team, on this program, and it'll be nice to see Damon Goodwin return to the bench next season as Capital's head basketball coach. Capital is taking the floor for warm-ups. They're getting set to take on Wilmington this evening. We will step aside once again. Coming up, we'll have the keys to victory tonight as Capital tries for another win within the Ohio Athletic Conference. You're listening to the Rusty Bucket pregame show here on your home for Crusaders men's basketball, the Capital Sports Network.
Just as fresh as its pizza, Donato's is fresh off of its 50th anniversary and still serving the Columbus area with pride. Now introducing online ordering, Donato's Pizza is ready for your order at any time from anywhere. Donato's also features a gluten-free menu and will even cater your next big event. Donato's Pizza in Bexley is located at 2800 East Main Street and is available by phone at 614-235-4477. Donato's Pizza, proud supporter of Capital Crusader Athletics.
This is a message for all those MBA seekers out there. For the junior exec who'd rather be senior. For the VP yearning to be CEO. And for everyone who'd call their job not just a profession, but a passion. Capital University's MBA program was built exclusively for professionals, experienced faculty, flexible schedules, and classmates you'll soon consider colleagues. Learn more at capital.edu/MBA. The Capital University MBA, for those driven to do more.
Hello, everybody. I'm Keith Jackson. College coaches work hard to beat their opponents, but now they're all on the same team to defeat Duchenne muscular dystrophy. It's called Coach to Cure MD, and you can help. Text the word CURE, C-U-R-E, to 90999 to donate $5 on your next mobile phone bill, or go online at coachtocuremd.org. Text the word CURE to 90999 and help coaches cure MD.
Brought to you by the American Football Coaches Association. Standard messaging rates apply.
Jimmy John's, world's greatest gourmet sandwiches. Ed speaking.
Yes, I need a sandwich delivery right away.
What kind of sandwich?
I don't care. Just get it to 215 Elm Street right now.
I'm on my way.
Jimmy John's.
Thanks for getting here so fast.
You're welcome, sir. Here's your sandwich. By the way, did you know your house is on fire?
That's why I called Jimmy John's.
Fire makes you hungry?
No, I knew you'd get here fast. Grab a bucket.
We're going to need more than 2 guys, sir.
You're right. What'll we do?
Leave it to me, sir.
Hello?
Hello, boss. Send everyone you got to 215 Elm. Doesn't matter what kind of sandwich, sir. I'll explain later. Thank you, sir.
Jimmy John's. Come in. Sir, did you know your house is on fire? Yes, I did. Grab a bucket.
Jimmy John's.
Come in.
Sir, did you know your house is on fire?
Grab a bucket.
Jimmy John's.
Come in.
Sir, did you know...
Yes, I did. Grab a bucket.
Jimmy John's.
Come in.
Sir, did you...
Yes, I did. Grab a bucket. Fire department. Come in. Sir, did you know you... It's okay, Captain. We got it handled. Care for a sandwich? Thanks, but tell me something. Shoot. Why didn't you call the fire department first? I did.
We're back here on the Rusty Bucket pregame show, inching closer and closer to tip-off between Wilmington and Capital. It's now time for tonight's Keys of the Game, brought to you by the J Company. Well, it's quite simple. Capital has had some trouble putting together a full game. In order for Capital to come out with a win tonight, they're going to have to start with aggression and then just finish this bad boy off. Way too often, we have seen Capital get off to these fast starts in the first half, only to have the opponent come back in the second half and ultimately win the game. So I think Capital is really going to have to start with that. Point number 2, I think they're going to have to get a little bit more contributions from the perimeter. With the loss of A.J. Dixon, Capital is still trying to find that perimeter threat that can complement the high scoring of Michael Green and Mark Minch. Now, Coach Winters talked about how Kurt Geisey was a player who could possibly be that third player that could complement Mark Minch and Michael Green. We already know that Geisey can be a standout defensive player for Capital, but let's see tonight if he can take his offensive game to another level, perhaps knock down a few three-pointers from the perimeter. We know that he's a great driver towards the hoop. That's how he gets a lot of his points. Let's see if Geisey can finally do that. And then finally, we talked about how Wilmington is really shackled by their lack of depth this season, having only 12 players on their entire roster. If Capital can somehow force Wilmington into foul trouble early in this game, that would probably go a long way towards another Capital victory. We'll take another quick timeout. When we come back, we'll have starting lineups for you and the opening tip-off here at the Capitol Center. You have been listening to the Rusty Bucket pregame show here on your home for Crusaders men's basketball, the Capital Sports Network.
When looking for great food at low price, be sure to visit Peking Dynasty on the corner of Livingston and Sheridan right near the Capital University campus. Peking Dynasty has a large selection of Chinese food and sushi, along with great-tasting chicken and beef selections that can please any appetite. In addition, Capital University students receive discounts with a valid ID any day of the week. That's Peking Dynasty on the corner of Livingston and Sheridan right near the Capital campus, where we are proud to say, Go Cap!
Dill's Greenhouse is a local family business dedicated to offering the best shopping experience and honest prices for your gardening needs. If you're in need of annuals, perennials, vegetable plants, or any variety of gardening tools and resources, Dill's Greenhouse is more than happy to get you on the right path. Dill's Greenhouse is located at 5800 Rager Road in Groveport, Ohio, and is open 7 days a week. Visit them online for more information at dillsgreenhouse.net. Dill's Greenhouse. Only nature does it better. Army ROTC is one of the best leadership courses in the country and can be a part of your college curriculum. As a potential or current student at Capital University, learning to become a leader will make your college experience even richer and prepare you for the future. Capital Army ROTC can provide scholarships and many more benefits to those who enroll, but the biggest benefit will be experienced firsthand after joining. For more information on Capital Army ROTC, testimonials, and an in-depth look at what the program can offer you, go to www.capital.edu/ROTC.
This is a message for the nurses among us, for those who dream of saving lives, for those who are driven to improve care, and for those ready to help heal what's broken, be it a single bone fracture or an entire hospital system. Capital University's advanced nursing programs are built for you. Engaged faculty, immersive learning, and intimate classes where you'll know everyone's name. To learn more, visit capital.edu/nursing. Advanced nursing at Capital University, for those driven to do more.
Just as fresh as its pizza, Donato's is fresh off of its 50th anniversary and still serving the Columbus area with pride. Now introducing online ordering, Donato's Pizza is ready for your order at any time from anywhere. Donato's also features a gluten-free menu and will even cater your next big event. Donato's Pizza in Bexley is located at 2800 East Main Street and is available by phone at 614-235-4477. Donato's Pizza, proud supporter of Capital Crusader Athletics.
It's the perfect sports bar because it's not just a sports bar.
I'm Gary Calico, founder and president of Rusty Bucket. A lot of families build their sports world around the bucket.
It's not just a guy's night out. You can bring your wife, you can bring your kids.
We get a lot of groups in after games.
Great place after the game.
Kids love to come here.
The Rusty Bucket Restaurant and Tavern.
The Rusty Bucket is a proud supporter of the Capital Crusaders. Visit us after the game at 2158 East Main Street and grab life by the bucket.
Our national anthem has been played, which means that we are set for some basketball here at the Capitol Center. Hello again, everyone. I'm Charlie Danis. Welcome into this presentation of Capitol men's basketball here on the Capitol Sports Network as the Crusaders get set to take on the Fighting Quakers of Wilmington. Let's now get to tonight's starting lineups, brought to you by Dill's Greenhouse. Only nature does it better. First, the starting lineup for Wilmington. At guard will be the 6-foot sophomore from Hamilton, Ohio, number 2, Christian Jones. Also at guard will be the 5'10" sophomore from Fayetteville, Ohio, number 5, DJ Isles. At forward will be the 6'6" freshman from Columbus, Ohio, number 14, Andrew Russell. Also at forward will be the 6'7" senior from Cincinnati, Ohio, number 20, Zach McCorkle. And finally, at forward, the 6'3" senior from Ostrander, Ohio, number 23, Chris Jackson. The head coach of Wilmington is Casey Hunt. Meanwhile, the starting lineup for Capitol looks like this. At guard will be the 6'3" freshman from Erlanger, Kentucky, number 3, Austin Schreck. Also at guard will be the 6'5" freshman from Milford, Ohio, number 5, Will Hanna. Also at guard will be the 5'10" junior from Delphus, Ohio, number 15, Kurt Geisey. Also at guard will be the 6'4" senior from Cincinnati, Ohio, number 24, Mark Minch. And finally, the 6'6" senior from Dublin, Ohio. He'll be playing forward tonight. That would be number 32, Michael Green. Interim head coach Andy Winters on the bench for Capitol this evening, which is part of a very special cause this week, Suits and Sneakers Week, promoting cancer awareness, raising funds for research, a way to honor Capitol University head coach Damon Goodwin, who is currently battling leukemia. Both teams have taken the court. Just about set for tonight's opening tip, brought to you by Zoe's Cafe. Our officials tonight are Keith Lewis, Chris Nelson, and Frank Vitt. Capitol comes into this game with an overall record of 9-8, 5-5 with an OAC play. Meanwhile, Wilmington 3-12 overall this season, 2-7 within conference play. It will be Mark Minch for Capitol, and looks like Zach McCorkle, who will jump for tonight's opening tip. The ball is at center court, and Minch wins the opening tip for Capitol. We are underway here at the Cap Center. Geisey across the timeline. Near the top of the arc, hands off to Green, hand off to Geisey, who scores with the left hand. Just like that, Capitol with a 2-0 lead. Great give-and-go action between Green and Geisey as Capitol jumps out to the early lead. Wilmington now with the basketball for the first time tonight. McCorkle passes off to Isles. Isles back out to Jackson. Now it's bounced over to McCorkle. McCorkle almost has his pocket picked. Then he throws it out of bounds. It'll be Capitol basketball. Great defense that time by Kurt Geisey, who probably has the fastest pair of hands on this team defensively. Schreck will now inbound it from the far side into Will Hanna, who I see is sporting a new haircut tonight. Green in the corner. Now he dribbles in. Baseline, lays it up and in. Michael Green with a nice shot fake, and Capitol is able to grab an early 4-0 lead in this ball game. McCorkle right back, and he scores with the right hand. It's now 4-2 in favor of Capitol as McCorkle gets Wilmington on the board. Wilmington with a little bit of pressure. Geisey drives in and lays it off the glass and in. Nice driving action by Kurt Geisey. A fast-paced game so far that has seen Capitol jump out to a 6-2 lead. 18:49 remain in the first half. It is swung around to McCorkle. McCorkle from about 15 feet out. He'll pull up for a jumper, and he will knock it down. McCorkle came into this game averaging 14 points per game, and so far he has all 4 of Wilmington's points this evening. It's a 6-4 advantage for Capitol. 18.5 to play in the first half. Geisey raising his left hand, giving the signal. Now he'll pass it into Minch. Minch from the foul line. Jumper's good. Mark Minch, the second leading scorer in the OAC, gets on the board here tonight. It's an 8-4 lead for Capitol. 18-10 remaining in the first half. It is swung around to Russell. Now they go inside to McCorkle. McCorkle near the right block, trying to size up his man Green, but instead passes back out to Jackson. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Now it's in the hands of Jones. Jones on the right wing. Now over to Jackson. Jackson almost loses it. Turnaround hook shot is good. Just threw it up there and somehow found the bottom of the net. It's an 8-6 lead now for Capital, thanks to the made bucket by Chris Jackson, the 6'3" senior from Ostrander, Ohio. Coming up on 17.5 to play here in the first half. It's an 8-6 lead for Capital. Geisy bounces it over to Schreck. Schreck, the Kentucky native, goes in, passes it back outside, but it bounces off the hands of Hannah. It's a turnover early here for Capital. So Wilmington will get the ball back. Both teams are shooting at a pretty doggone good clip so far in this game. Capital has made its first 4 shots. Wilmington has made its first 3 shots. Quakers back with the basketball now. DJ Isles throws it into the middle to no one in particular. Geisy's there to pick it off. Now it's to Schreck. Schreck off the glass and in. Capital 10, Wilmington 6. 17 to play here in the first half. A nice start offensively for Capital. Russell trying to dribble in, does so. Back out to Jackson. 15 on the shot clock. Jackson being guarded by Hannah. He'll now dribble to his left. Jackson out towards the perimeter. Now it's inside to McCorkle. McCorkle being guarded by Green. Almost has it stolen away by Hannah. Gets it out to the perimeter, and the 3 is knocked down by Christian Jones. It's now a 10-9 lead for Capital. 16.5 to play here in the first half. Boy, both teams have come out firing on offense, and so far, both teams are hitting on all cylinders. Hannah on the right wing now to Schreck. Almost a steal there by Christian Jones, but Capital keeps possession. Spin move in the lane. Hannah misses the floater, but the tip back is good for Austin Schreck. 12-9 in favor of Capital. 16:05 to play in our first half of play. DJ Isles, top of the arc. Now it's over to Jackson. Jackson going over his option, passes inside, and the weird-looking shot by Andrew Russell is no good. Was trying to lay it up, but I think it had a little bit too much English on that ball. Quickly back at it is Schreck. Ball tipped up in the air after the missed shot by Schreck, and Christian Jones comes away with the rebound for Wilmington. Isles now back out to Jackson. Jackson, long jumper. That's no good, and the rebound taken by Hannah. Capital will now slow things up a bit as they get the signals in from Coach Winters. Geisy will bring it across half court. Capital with a 12-9 lead in this ball game with 15 and 22 seconds remaining here in the first half. Minch drives in, doesn't finish with the left hand, but he was fouled by Andrew Russell. So Minch will now head to the free throw line. Mark Minch averaging 21.2 points per game coming into play this evening. A sore spot for him has been his shooting at the free throw line, however. Coming into play tonight, 64.5% from the charity stripe. So Minch, a right-handed shooter, receives the ball, bounces the ball a couple times. It is up, and it is in. Caught nothing but net, as a matter of fact. And now a slew of substitutions for both teams. For Capital, Gavin Wildemuth comes in, along with Joey Weingartner and Caleb Cox. Meanwhile, for Wilmington, Brandon Smith will check in. Also coming into the ball game is Nathan Scott. And looks like Will Patrick has entered the game as well for Wilmington. Second free throw on the way for Minch, and it is good. Minch 2 for 2 at the foul line. 14-9 in favor of Capital. 15-15 remaining here in the first half. It has been a exciting first half offensively. Both teams getting up and down the court. And now Wilmington will look for an answer here offensively. McCorkle, spin move in the lane. Jump hook is no good. And the rebound is taken by Hannah, and Hannah was fouled in the backcourt by Nathan Scott, the 6'3" sophomore from Sardinia, Ohio. That's the second team foul on Wilmington. No fouls have been called against Capital as of yet. Another substitution for Wilmington. Jordan Jones checks in. Jones, a 6' sophomore from Dayton, Ohio. And another substitution for Wilmington, Malcolm Pittman. He's a 6'6" junior, and he's from Dayton as well. Pittman went to Wayne High School, former home of Ohio State quarterback Braxton Miller. Meanwhile, the other young man, Jordan Jones, going to Thurgood Marshall. And let's see here, a foul call against Wilmington. And a technical foul, a technical foul was called against Capital. So Wilmington will be heading to the free throw line. Brandon Smith will be shooting the technical free throws, and now our referees are getting together. So Smith will now head to the free throw line for Wilmington, looking to cut into this 14-9 lead for Capital. Foul shot is up and good. It's a 14-10 lead, and one more technical foul shot is awaiting Brandon Smith, the 6-foot freshman from Lebanon, Ohio. Shot is good. And let's see here. Now Wilmington will get the ball back as well. So after the foul shots, it is a 14-11 lead for Capital. 14:51 remaining. Wilmington back with the basketball is Jordan Jones on the left wing, being guarded by Weingartner. Now they go inside of McCorkle. McCorkle against Wildermuth. Now it's in the corner to Jones. Jones drives in, passes back out to Will Patrick. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Patrick spinning, twisting, turning, gets it off to Jones. Jones pass inside, and the floater is no good for Nathan Scott. The rebound is taken by Capital. Weingartner now on the right wing. Out to Minch. Minch will pop a three, and it's no good. Battle for the loose ball, and Wilmington, no, hold on a minute. A jump ball is now going to be called. Coming away with the rebound momentarily was Will Patrick. But Will Hanna stuck his hands in there. Unfortunately, the arrow favors the Quakers, so the jump ball is all for naught. How about this? We got a 14-11 game with 14:11 remaining in the first half. So Brandon Smith will bring it across half court. Smith guarded by Hanna. Now it's over to Jones. Jones, the Dayton, Ohio native, loses the ball, and now Wildermuth comes up with it. Gives it over to Minch. Minch down the lane, finish it. Nope, doesn't finish with the left hand, missed the shot, but he was fouled. So now he'll head to the free throw line. Mark Minch showing some nice quickness down the lane, and he will now be heading to the charity stripe once again. And it looks like a couple more substitutions will be coming in here for Capital momentarily. First, the foul shot by Minch. Receives the ball from a referee, and his first foul shot is good. Now the substitutions come in for Capital. Tyrell Jackson will be the first one to come in for Capital, taking the place of Will Hanna out there on the floor. Jackson, a former Dublin Kaufman product here in the Columbus area. Second free throw now upcoming for Minch, and it's good. 16-11 lead for Capital with 13:50 to go. Minch will now take a seat on the bench, get some needed rest. Meanwhile, Joe Thomas, a 6'4" freshman from Columbus, former Centennial High School product, checks into the ballgame for the Crusaders. Brandon Smith dribbles the ball up the court. Now it's over to Jones. Little skip pass. Three-pointer on the way. That's no good for Scott. With offensive rebound by Wilmington. Another jumper missed. And Capital comes away with the rebound thanks to a nice save by Wildermuth. Now it's to Weingartner, who's currently running the point guard duties. Bounces it into Thomas. Nearly lost by Joe. Somehow gets it back. Joe trying to get the shot up. Has it blocked. Now back out to Jackson for three. Tyrell misses it. And now another scramble for the loose ball. Thomas trying to save it, gets it back, it goes out of bounds, and after all that melee, it will be Capital basketball. I swear to God, the ball must have touched 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 different hands during that time, but somehow, some way, the Crusaders get back possession. 13:08 remain in the first half. It is Capital 16, Wilmington 11. Thomas will inbound it from the far side of the court as Wilmington makes a substitution. DJ Isles comes back into the ball game, while Jordan Jones takes a seat. Thomas looking to inbound it, gets it into Wildermuth, who had to stick up a big paw right there just to grab the ball. Now it's over to Jackson. Jackson near the top of the arc, now gives off to Wildermuth. Wildermuth spinning around, trying to create space for himself along the right wing, now inside the Cox. Cox dribbles in. Shot was blocked, but he was fouled by Zach McCorkle, it looks like. So Caleb Cox, 6'7" freshman from Cincinnati, Ohio. He will be making a trip to the charity stripe. On the season, Cox a 76.5 free throw shooter. And the first free throw is no good. Cox will get an opportunity to redeem himself right here as he has one more foul shot coming up. The shot by Cox is up and no good. No dice for Cox as the rebound is eventually corralled by Zach McCorkle for Wilmington. 16-11 in favor of Capital. 12:43 remaining in the first half. DJ Isles on the left wing to Will Patrick, being guarded by Wildermuth. Now a pass inside, back out to the perimeter, and the three-pointer is knocked down by Andrew Russell, former Central Crossing product here in Columbus. It's now a 2-point lead for Capital, 16-14, 12-19 remain in the first half. Tyrell Jackson, cross half court for Capital now as the Crusaders get set to go into their half-court offense. A bounce pass over to Wildermuth on the right wing. Wildermuth trying to dribble on in, but he's cut off. He'll be forced to kick it back out to Weingartner. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Now it's over to Wildermuth. Wildermuth to Cox. Cox, long jumper. Caleb not able to knock it down, and the rebound taken by Brandon Smith for Wilmington. DJ Isles quickly pushes it. Another three for Russell. That's no good, and the rebound taken by Cox for Capital. 11:40 remaining in the first half. Capital clinging to a 16-14 lead over the Quakers of Wilmington. Thomas on the right wing. Passes it off to Weingartner. Weingartner, baseline, goes for the drive and scores with the left hand. Joey Weingartner, former Centerville, Ohio product. 18-14 lead now for Capital. 11:18 remaining in the first half. Brandon Smith into Zach McCorkle now. McCorkle dips and dives and puts up a shot, misses it, but he was fouled on the inside. This will only be the second personal foul on Capital in the half, as now McCorkle gets set to go to the free throw line. McCorkle on the season, a 67.2% free throw shooter. Quick check of the stats here for a moment. Capital shooting 53.8% from the field tonight, 0 of 2 from three-point range, as McCorkle was able to rattle home his first three-point attempt. Meanwhile, Wilmington close behind, shooting 45.5% from the field tonight, including 2 of 4 from three-point range. Kurt Geisey comes back into the game meanwhile, so does Michael Green. McCorkle's second free throw no good. Green grabs the rebound for Capital. It's an 18-15 lead for the Crusaders. 11:04 remain here in the first half. Green, top of the arc. Pivots, dribbling to his right, towards the hoop. That was off the side of the backboard, but somehow Green was able to get it back. Now it's back out to Jackson. Wide open for three. That's no good. And now a foul's going to be called either against Green or Joe Thomas on the inside. Either way, Wilmington will be getting the ball back, and another foul is heading the way of Capital. Meanwhile, for Wilmington, Connor Casey, 5'11" junior from Upper Arlington, Ohio. Another Columbus product who plays for the Quakers. He'll be checking into the game, as will Austin Schreck for Capital. G.J. Isles will bring the ball past half court for Wilmington. He'll swing it around to Connor Casey. Casey on the right wing gets it over to Russell. Russell being guarded by Thomas. Now it's back in the hands of Isles. Isles top of the arc, and a holding foul is now going to be called against Thomas for Capital. Fourth foul on Capital. 10:31 remaining here in the first half. It is Capital 18, Wilmington 15 here at the Capital Center. This is a presentation of Capital Men's Basketball here on the Capital Sports Network. Inbound from the baseline. Isles trying to find someone, but he wasn't able to find someone in time. 5 seconds is called. A turnover for Wilmington. The ball coming back to Capital. And now Mark Minch is coming back into the game for the Crusaders. Frustrating night for Joe Thomas as he heads to the bench. So Minch coming back into the game. Minch already with 6 points in this game for the Crusaders. Jackson looking to push it for Capital. Now over to Minch. Minch on the right wing, passes it off to Geisey. Geisey, top of the arc. Now he'll back things out towards the half court. Goes forward. Now it's back to Schreck. 15 on the shot clock. They go inside to Green. Green is double teamed, and a traveling violation is going to be called against Green, who took one too many steps as he was trying to establish position down there on the left block. 10-12 remain in the first half. It is Capital 18, Wilmington 15. The Crusaders looking for another win within OSU play. If they win tonight, they push their record within conference play to 6-5. Meanwhile, Wilmington trying to improve to 3-7 within OAC play. Christian Jones off to Isles. Now it's back to Jones. Jones on the left wing. Now he'll drive on inside, puts it up with the right hand, and he gets the bucket to fall. Gets the shooter's roll, as a matter of fact. It's now a 1-point lead for Capital. 18-17. Capital with a slim lead. 9:40 remaining in what has been a continuous first half. Geisy on the left wing, going over his options. He'll get it into Tyrell Jackson. Jackson trying to post up against Connor Casey. Now it's back out to Green, who will let loose a three. That's no good. Schreck with the offensive rebound, and now a foul called on the inside against Wilmington. This will be the fifth personal foul on Wilmington in this game. Schreck will get set to inbound it from the baseline. Meanwhile, Will Hannon will check back in for Capital. Tyrell Jackson will check out for the Crusaders. Schreck will get it into Green. Green quickly lays it up and in. Nobody touched Green as he quickly went along the baseline and scored two. 20-17 in favor of Capital. Three-pointer, no good for Connor Casey. Then the ball goes out of bounds. It'll still be Capital basketball. So the Crusaders will get the ball back. It also happens to be jersey night here. A sizable number of students here at the game tonight here at the Capitol Center. And I'm seeing all sorts of jerseys across the way here. Obviously, a lot of basketball jerseys, but some wearing the football stuff, and even hockey jerseys as well. Meanwhile, back to the action on the court. Minch will drive on in. Spin move, no good for Minch, but Kurt Geisy's right there to clean it up as he puts it away with the right hand. Opportunistic Kurt Geisy was that time as Capital increases its lead to 22-17, 8:45 remaining in the first half. DJ Isles will pass it off to Andrew Russell. Now it's back in the hands of Isles. Now it's over to McCorkle on the left wing. McCorkle will drive on in. Shot is blocked by Green, and Minch comes away with the loose ball for Capital. He'll go up the court. Minch was fouled on his way to the bucket. The foul was on the floor. That will be the 16th foul on Wilmington here. With 8:28 remain here in the first half, the next one will put Capital, in the 1-1. Meanwhile, for Wilmington, Will Patrick and Chris Jackson check back into the game. 8:28 remain in the first half. Capital with a 22-17 lead. Schreck will inbound it from the baseline. He'll get it in successfully to Minch. Minch along the right elbow. Minch dribbling in. Pass inside to Green. Green reverse layup is good. Green got his man up in the air, and once his man was coming down, put up a shot. It was good. Michael Green doing work along the baseline and in the post, to be more specific. 24-17, Capital with the lead. 8:05 remain in the first half. Jones thought about a three, and now he's going to be called for a traveling violation, as looked like he lifted a foot or two on that shot fake. And now Wilmington will take a timeout. We'll step aside as well. 8:02 remain in the first half. Capital 24, Wilmington 17. This is your home for Crusaders men's basketball, the Capital Sports Network.
With 14 TVs to watch your favorite team or the next big event, Planks Cafe and Pizzeria in German Village is ready for you and your group today. Plenty of free parking, free Wi-Fi, banquet rooms for private parties, and daily specials. What more reason do you need to visit Planks Cafe and Pizzeria? Planks is located at 743 Parsons Avenue and has been serving the Columbus community since 1939. Planks is on the web at plankscafe.com or available by phone at 614-443-6251. Planks Cafe and Pizzeria is a proud supporter of Crusader Athletics.
8:02 remaining in the first half. It is Capital leading Wilmington 24-17. Hello, everyone. I'm Charlie Danis. Thanks for joining us for this presentation of Capital men's basketball here on the Capital Sports Network. They will inbound it to Schreck. The Erlanger Kentucky native brings it across half court. Schreck will hand off to Geisy. Geisy, top of the arc, bounce pass, trying to get it inside to Hannah, but it went off of a Wilmington player. So Capital will still have the ball. 18 seconds remain on the shot clock. 7:50 remaining in the first half. Once again, Schreck will inbound it from the baseline for the Crusaders. Schreck will get it into Minch. Minch Going at his man. Jumper. No, actually good for Minch. Nice shot by Minch that time. As he stepped back, then went forward. Kind of lulling his defender to sleep, getting the shot off, and good. And now a great shot block by Michael Green, but McCorkle gets the ball back and scores. Nice job by McCorkle there down in the lane, just staying with it and scoring. Keeping Wilmington in this game. Capital leading 26-19. 7:20 remaining in the first half. And then Minch drives in and scores with the left hand. Mark Minch. If you give this guy a little bit of space, he knows what to do with it. He has every move imaginable in the post, and that time he was able to take advantage of a little bit of daylight in order to score 2 more points. Capital 28, Wilmington 19, 6:56 remain in the first half. Will Patrick. Now it's over to DJ Isles. Isles will back out towards half court, try to drive on in against Schreck, but Schreck providing good defense. Finally, Isles will let loose a jumper, no good, and Hanna grabs the rebound for Capital. They'll push it ahead to Geisy. Geisy down the lane. Kurt has his shot blocked by McCorkle, and Wilmington gets the ball back. Geisy trying to strip the ball away, but unable to do so. Jumper from the foul line, no good for Patrick. Somehow it was saved by Jones on the baseline. 3-pointer on the way. That's no good. Schreck grabs the rebound for Capital. 9-point lead for the Crusaders. 28-19 in favor of Capital with 6:12 remaining in the first half. Minch on the right wing. Lets loose a 3. Mark Minch makes it rattle home. He can do it inside. He can also do it outside. Mark Minch with 13 points in this game thus far. 31-19. Capital with their largest lead of this game with 5:52 remaining in the first half. DJ Isles. Now over to McCorkle. McCorkle drives on in, off the glass, no good, but was fouled on the play by Schreck. So he'll head to the free throw line. This will be the 5th team foul on Capital here in the first half, stopping the clock with 5:45 remaining in the first half. Coming up, we'll have the Anthony's Pizzeria halftime show for you folks. We'll take a look at scores around the OAC, recap the first half, take a look at the halftime stats, and much more. And it's all coming up on the Anthony's Pizzeria halftime show. McCorkle, meanwhile, at the foul line. He's able to knock down his first free throw attempt. Again, substitutes for both teams. Gavin Wildermuth, Caleb Cox, Joey Weingartner back in the game for Capital. Meanwhile, Jordan Jones checks in for Wilmington, as does Nathan Scott. And it looks like Brandon Smith has found his way back into the game. McCorkle misses the second free throw. So an 11-point lead for Capital, 31-20, 5:40 remaining in the first half. Capital shooting 54% from the field. Meanwhile, Wilmington has cooled off a little bit. Their shooting percentage is down to 36.8%. Green gets the shooter's roll to go from 15 feet out. It's now a 13-point lead for Capital as they just continue to pull away from Wilmington. Jones trying to make something happen in the right corner, but passes out to DJ Isles instead. Now it's over to Smith. They get inside to McCorkle. McCorkle battling. Might have had his shot partially blocked that time as Hanna comes away with a rebound. So now Joey Weingartner back in there, the Centerville, Ohio native, running the point. He's across half court now, gets a screen from Cox. Weingartner will go down the lane, not able to get the shooter's roll, however, and the rebound is taken by Nathan Scott. Now it's over to DJ Isles. Isles will push it over to Brandon Smith, and now a blocking foul is going to be called against Gavin Wildermuth. That's now the 16th foul on Capital, and now Wilmington will be in the 1-and-1 going forward here. And a timeout will be taken by Capital. We'll step aside once again. 4:51 remaining in the first half. It is Capital 33, Wilmington 20. This is your home for Crusaders men's basketball, the Capital Sports Network.
Dill's Greenhouse is a local family business dedicated to offering the best shopping experience and honest prices for your gardening needs. If you're in need of annuals, perennials, vegetable plants, or any variety of gardening tools and resources, Dill's Greenhouse is more than happy to get you on the right path. Dill's Greenhouse is located at 5800 Rager Road in Groveport, Ohio, and is open 7 days a week. Visit them online for more information at dillsgreenhouse.net. Dill's Greenhouse. Only nature does it better.
Welcome back to the Capital Center. 4:51 remaining in the first half. Capital leading Wilmington 33-20. The Crusaders trying to go above 500 within OAC play. With a win tonight, they would improve to 6-5 within the Ohio Athletic Conference. Trying to get a win here tonight against the Wilmington squad, who has all but 3 wins on the season. Inbounds play, layup is good for Nathan Scott. It's now a 33-22 lead for Capital. 4:41 remaining in the first half. Weingartner passes off to Wildermuth. Wildermuth, now a three-pointer on the way. That is no good for Will Hanna, and the rebound taken by Wilmington. Now the Quakers are working to push it. DJ Isles up the court, and he was fouled on the play by Hanna. Fouled in the act of shooting, so now Isles, the 5'10" sophomore from Fayetteville, Ohio, will head to the free throw line. Capital wearing their customary white uniforms tonight with the purple striping down the side of the jerseys and the shorts, purple numbers and white lettering outlined by purple. First foul shot is good for DJ Isles. Meanwhile, Wilmington with a really interesting look. They have the checkered pattern going down the side of the uniform, akin to what Marquette used to wear back in the 1970s during the good old days of Al McGuire. Green numbers, light green to be more specific, and also green lettering on the back and front of the jersey. The uniforms as a whole are gray. Second free throw is good for Isles. 33-24 advantage for Capital over Wilmington. 4:17 remain in the first half. They're able to break Wilmington's full court press. Inside, Cox lays it up and in. Nice shot fake by the freshman Cox. 35-24. 11-point lead for Capital as we approach 4 minutes to play in the first half. Isles drives in, not able to get the wild shot to go, and Cox grabs the rebound for Capital. Wildermuth now handling the basketball for the Crusaders, gets instructions from Coach Winters, and now he'll go to work in the half court. It's over to Minch on the right wing. Minch dribbling to his right, dribbles in, got tripped up, and now a traveling violation is going to be called against Minch. That was a really interesting play. I thought that a foul was going to be called on the inside as Minch was literally upended. But no call. Ends up not going the way of the Crusaders that time. 3:33 remain in the first half. Minch now with a steal. Minch down the lane, and he will lay it up and in with the left hand. 37-24. Capital with the lead, and now a timeout's going to be taken by Coach Winters. We'll keep things right here at the Capital Center. Again, 3:26 remaining in the first half. It's Capital 37, Wilmington 24. Let's check the stats here while we have a moment. Capital shooting 53.6% from the field, only 16.7% from three-point range, 1 of 6 from beyond the arc, and 4 of 6 from free throw line. That's good for 66.7%. Meanwhile, Wilmington shooting 36.4% from the field, 40% from three-point range, 2 of 5 from beyond the arc, 6 of 8 from the foul line, good for 75%. Capital has a good advantage in the rebounding department, 19-10 in favor of the Crusaders. Wilmington with 7 turnovers, Capital with 4. Zach McCorkle, the leading scorer for Wilmington, he's got 8. Meanwhile, no surprise, Mark Minch putting on another exciting exhibition for Capital this evening. He's got 15 points to go along with 3 rebounds. 37-24. Capital with a lead over Wilmington. 3:15 remaining in the first half. DJ Isles. Now it's over to Christian Jones for 3. No good. And Weingartner comes away with the rebound for Capital. He'll now slow things up a little bit as he brings it gently across half court. Weingartner near the right wing now passes it off to Minch. Minch with 18 on the shot clock. Minch will try to go baseline. Spin move. Pass outside to Weingartner. Weingartner now over to Hanna. Hanna, top of the arc, bounces it over to Jackson on the left wing. 7 on the shot clock. Tyrell will go baseline. Reverse layup is good for Tyrell Jackson. Oh my goodness. A circus shot for the Dublin Kaufman product. Holy cow. DJ Isles now handling the basketball for Wilmington as we tick under 2.5 to play in the first half. Capital 39, Wilmington 24. Three-pointer on the way. That's no good for Brandon Smith. Rebound taken by Weingartner. Weingartner on the right wing. Now it's over to Cox. Cox Bounces inside the Minch. Minch definitely got fouled by McCorkle that time as he got bumped. So now that will be the 7th team foul in Wilmington, which means that Capital will be shooting free throws for the rest of this half. They're now in the 1-1. Meanwhile, for Capital, Geisy, Schreck, and Green come back into the game for the Crusaders. Weingartner, Hanna, they'll take a seat. Still don't know who the third member who's going to be on that bench for Capital pretty soon will be, but we will learn that momentarily. In the meantime, Minch steps to the free-throw line. First free throw is good. Wow. That ball bounced off the back rim, and somehow he was able to get the shooter's roll that time. As Minch will earn himself another free throw at the charity stripe. Minch has the ball, bounces it a couple times. Second free throw is no good. And the rebound is taken by Brandon Smith. Michael Green will have to sit at the scorer's table for a little while longer before checking in for Capital. Capital 40, Wilmington 24. DJ Isles on the left wing. Gets it into McCorkle. McCorkle trying to shot fake, being guarded by Cox. Now it's back out to Isles. 8 on the shot clock. Isles trying to drive on in, but he's being face guarded by Schreck. Now he'll drive on in, and he was tripped at the last moment by Schreck. So Isles being fouled by Wilmington. That'll be 8 personal fouls on Capital, as Isles will head to the free throw line for the upcoming 1-1. Meanwhile, Minch will check out. Green will come in for Capital. Weingartner comes back in for the Crusaders. Meanwhile, Schreck will head to the bench. So now DJ Isles will step towards the free throw line. First free throw is good for Isles. Isles on the season, 76.6% from the free throw line. He'll get to improve upon that shooting percentage in just a moment here. Second free throw upcoming. It's in and out for Isles. 40-25. Capital with a big lead as we are rapidly approaching halftime. A minute and a half to play in the first half. Geisy will slow things up. Cross half court. Has his pocket picked, however, by Isles as he was trying to get it over to Jackson. Now a layup in the lane is good for Christian Jones. It's a 40-27 lead for Capital. 1:15 remaining in the first half. Geisy along the right wing. Now it's to Weingartner. Swung over to Green on the left wing. Now it's to Weingartner, top of the arc. Bounce pass inside, but too sloppy of a pass that time as McCorkle picks that baby off. And now it's over to Christian Jones. Jones trying to drive on in, and he was fouled in the act of shooting by Weingartner. So now he'll head to the free throw line. 59.3 seconds remain in the first half. So now Christian Jones heads to the free throw line. Jones, a 75.7% free throw shooter. First free throw is good. Jones, a 6-foot sophomore from Hamilton, Ohio, near the Cincinnati area. Of course, with Wilmington being located in Southwest Ohio, you would expect that a lot of their players come from the Cincinnati, Dayton area. Second free throw, is good. It's now a 40-29 lead for Capital. Under 57 seconds to play in the first half. And Geisy will just gently walk the ball up the court. Over to the right wing. Geisy dribbling around, now dribbling to his left. Now to Jackson, swung around the Weingartner in the corner. 13 on the shot clock. Weingartner will go down the lane, now pass back out to Jackson. Jackson, step back three, no good. Green taps it, and Capital not able to save it as Weingartner had to jump over a chair at the Wilmington bench. So Wilmington will get the ball back. 32 seconds on the game clock. 30 seconds remain on the shot clock. So a 2-second differential between shot clock and game clock here. Wilmington will just look to whittle the clock down here as we rapidly approach halftime. And a near steal by Jackson. Nearly poked the ball away from Brandon Smith, but Smith is able to get the ball back. 11 seconds on the shot clock. Now it's over to Isles. Now in the hands of Jones. 7 seconds, 6 seconds. Jones has got to go here. He'll launch a three. That's no good. And the rebound's taken by Cox. Cox gets it to Geisy. 1 second. Kurt lets it go, and it is no good. And now both teams We'll head to the locker room at the half. It is Capital 40, Wilmington 29. Coming up, we'll have the Anthony's Pizzeria halftime show for you. We'll get you updated with scores around the Ohio Athletic Conference. Take a look at that first half and examine the halftime stats among many other things. So stay tuned for the Anthony's Pizzeria halftime show. Capital leading Wilmington 40-29 here on your home for Crusaders men's basketball, the Capital Sports Network. Hello, everyone. Welcome into the Anthony's Pizzeria halftime show. At the half, it is Capital leading Wilmington 40-29. I'm Charlie Danis, and let's now take a look at the OAC scoreboard, get you updated with all the action around the OAC at this time. 14:08 remaining at Heidelberg. John Carroll has a 10-5 lead over the Berg in that one. Marietta with a 16-8 lead over Muskingum with 14:47 remaining in that game. That game being played at Muskingum. Mount Union making the trek to Baldwin-Wallace tonight, and so far it is the Yellow Jackets leading the Purple Raiders 15-12 in that game, and they have just gotten underway at Ohio Northern. The Polar Bears are hosting the Cardinals of Otterbein. And also another score to pass along to you. The women's team for Capital, they're on the road tonight. They are at Wilmington. 3:21 remaining in the first quarter. It is Wilmington leading Capital in that one so far by a score of 10-5. Well, as for the first half of our game, Capital did a very nice job offensively getting off to the fast starts. It was a close game throughout. Both teams were shooting in the high 40s, the low 50s, if you will. Both teams were really solid from the field shooting the basketball. But then Wilmington kind of cooled off a little bit in the middle of the first half, allowing Capital to somewhat pull away in this game and thereby leading to this 40-29 lead at the half. Let's now take a look at the halftime stats. These stats brought to you by Planks Cafe. We start first for Wilmington, who scored 29 points in the first half. Your leading scorer for the Quakers shouldn't be a surprise. Zach McCorkle came in here averaging 14 points per game for the Quakers. He has 8 points at the half to go along with 3 rebounds. 3 points for Andrew Russell, 2 points for Chris Jackson, 9 points for Christian Jones. So actually, Jones was your leading scorer at half for the Crusaders. 3 points for DJ Isles, 2 points for Brandon Smith, and 2 points for Nathan Scott. As a team, Wilmington shot 34.6% from the field. They shot 25% from three-point range, 2 of 8 from beyond the arc. And at the free throw line, Wilmington shot 9 of 12 from the cherry stripe, good for 75%. Meanwhile, for Capital, surprise, surprise, Mark Minch, your leading scorer for the Crusaders. Listen to this stat line. He's got 16 points, shot 5 of 7 from the field, 1 of 2 from three-point range, 5 of 6 from the foul line. He's getting it done in all facets of the game, Mark Minch is. Michael Green also had a nice first half showing, 8 points to go along with 3 rebounds. 4 points for Austin Schreck, 6 points for Kirk Geisey, and 2 points each for Joey Weingartner, Tyrell Jackson, and Caleb Cox. As a team, Capital shot 54.8% from the field. They were only 1 of 7 from three-point range, good for 14.3%. And at the free throw line, Capital was 5 of 8 from the cherry stripe, good for 62.5%. Other stats that stood out in that first half, Capital has a wide margin when it comes to rebounding the basketball, 23-12 in favor of Capital in that particular category. In terms of turnovers, Wilmington 7, Capital 6, assists, 4 apiece for each team, and Capital and Wilmington each have 2 blocks. We will step aside once again as we continue here with the Anthony's Pizzeria halftime show. It is Capital 40, Wilmington 29 at the half. This is your home for Crusaders men's basketball, the Capital Sports Network.
Brugger's Bagels has been bringing authentic New York-style bagels, breakfast foods, coffee, soups, and more to the world since 1983, and there is a location in Bexley ready to get your day started right. Located on 2510 East Main Street, Brugger's is open Monday through Friday from 5:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Saturdays and Sundays from 6:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Brugger's also can cater your next event and can be reached by phone at 614-236-4000. Brugger's Bagels is proud to support Capital University Athletics. OSU Sports Medicine is a proud supporter of Crusader student-athletes by providing sports health services for Capital University Athletics and student health services. Through the work and care of team physicians and athletic trainers, it's the team behind your team. For all fans, if you're looking to improve your physical performance, recover from an injury, or stay active for a lifetime, the experts at Ohio State Sports Medicine are there for you. Visit sportsmedicine.osu.edu or call 366-4332.
Welcome back to the Capitol Center as we continue here with the Anthony's Pizzeria halftime show. In case you're just joining us, it is Capital leading Wilmington 40-29. Capital trying to go above the 500 mark within conference play. If they get a win tonight, they improve to 6-5 within OAC play, and they also get to improve their overall record to 10-8. Capital now making their way back onto the court, warming up for the second half of play. At halftime, well, it was a pretty special thing that just took place here at the Capitol Center. Pledge cards were available at the admissions table tonight. It's the Suits and Sneakers Week, promoting cancer awareness and raising funds for research, and everybody got a pledge card. And at the half, it was Capital SID, Sports Information Director, for those of you not familiar with the term, Ryan Gasser, leading the charge at the half. Everybody held up their card at halftime as a sign of solidarity, as a sign of standing up against cancer, and it's quite the sight. A lot of people in this world have been affected by cancer in one way or another. You may have fought cancer yourself, or you may have known a person, known someone dear and close to your heart who had to battle that dreaded disease. As many of you Capital fans know, it is head coach Damon Goodwin who is currently undergoing a battle with hairy cell leukemia. From what we understand, Coach is doing a nice job with treatment, and he's doing A-OK. We hope to see Coach going back on the sidelines where he belongs next season for the 2016-2017 campaign. We'll take one last commercial break. When we come back, we'll have the second half action for you here from the Capitol Center. It is Capital 40, Wilmington 29, coming out of halftime. This has been the Anthony's Pizzeria halftime show here on your home for Crusaders men's basketball, the Capital Sports Network.
This is a message for all those MBA seekers out there. For the junior exec who'd rather be senior. For the VP yearning to be CEO. And for everyone who'd call their job not just a profession, but a passion. Capital University's MBA program was built exclusively for professionals, experienced faculty, flexible schedules, and classmates you'll soon consider colleagues. Learn more at capital.edu/MBA. The Capital University MBA, for those driven to do more.
Back here at the Capitol Center, moments away from second half action. Capital coming out of the locker room with a 40-29 lead over Wilmington, a first half in which Capital shot 54.8% from the field. Not bad at all. Speaking of scores, by the way, 8:26 remain in the second quarter at Wilmington. The women's team for Capital clawing their way back. They were down early against Wilmington. They have now cut the Quakers' lead to 3. Wilmington leading 15-12 with 8:26 remaining in the second quarter. We'll keep an eye on that score for you as our game progresses. Meanwhile, Capital will get the ball back offensively here to begin the second half of play. Austin Schreck will inbound it from the far side. Capital going from left to right in order to score in this half. Wilmington going from right to left in order to score in this half. Schreck gets it in successfully to Will Hanna, and we are underway in the second half. Mark Minch, your leading scorer for Capital, 16 points in the first half as he just continues to roll offensively. Minch will hand off to Schreck. Now it's over to Hanna. Hanna will drive on in. Jumper from the foul line, no good, but Hanna gets his shot. Shot fake. Hanna drives on in, no good. Minch offensive rebound. Minch loses the ball, and Wilmington comes up with it. DJ Isles will push it to Jones. Jones down the lane, and it is good. Boy, he split two Capital defenders very quickly and found his way to the 10. A nice start offensively here for Wilmington. They still trail Capital 40-31. And now Wilmington is going with a full court press as Schreck is barely able to get it over to Geisy. And now a 10-second call is going to be called against Capital because they weren't able to get the ball across half court in time. So Capital dealing with some issues here with that full court press early on, and now Wilmington gets the ball back. They're only down by 9. They can make it a game right here with another made bucket. Russell hands it off to Scott. Now they go inside to Jackson. Jackson will drive on in, turn around. Jay off the glass is good. 40-33. All of a sudden we got ourselves a ball game here at the Cap Center. Capital still with the lead, but Wilmington off to a nice start here offensively in the second half, excuse me. Geisy out towards half court. Relaying the signals from Coach Winters on the bench. Green now with the basketball on the left wing. He'll let loose a three. That's no good, but Schreck with another offensive rebound. Schreck not able to finish the shot. Wasn't able to get it off the glass. It was off the side of the rim, and Wilmington comes away with the rebound. DJ Isles up the court. Floater, no good, but he got fouled on the play by Schreck. So now Isles will head to the free throw line. And Coach Winters has got to be thinking to himself, man, what the heck is going on over here? So Isles will now head to the free throw line. First free throw is good. Couple substitutions in for Wilmington. McCorkle checks in, Zach McCorkle, along with Andrew Russell. Isles with a second free throw coming up. It's up. And it's no good. But McCorkle gets the rebound. No, a miss by Russell. And it's taken by Capital finally. It's swung around to Schreck, now inside to Minch. Minch trying to go left baseline, back out to Geisy. Geisy with the shot fake. He'll drive on in. Kurt wasn't fouled. Missed the shot, excuse me. But he was fouled, so he'll now head to the free throw line. Kurt Geisy, usually one of the better free throw shooters on Capital's team. Struggled early on in the season. His average is 67.3%, but Kurt has picked it up lately at the foul line. First free throw is good. Gavin Wildermuth comes back into the game for Capital now. Schreck will take a seat for Capital. Crusaders lead Wilmington 41-34, 17:55 remain in the second half. Second free throw is good for Geisy. It's now an 8-point lead for Capital, 42-34. We are just underway here in the second half. Wilmington has outscored Capital so far in the second half 5-1. Russell dribbles on in. Now it's over to Jackson. Jackson, long jumper, and Jackson knocks it down from 15. 42-36. All of a sudden, the lead for Capital has been cut down to 6. Geisy gets it over to Green. Green, floater in the lane, no good. Gets his offensive rebound, loses the ball, however, and Jackson comes away with the ball for Wilmington. The momentum has clearly swung away of the Quakers. Isles, top of the arc, step back Jay, no good. And Geisy trying to save it, but he'll go out of bounds. Wilmington will get a fresh shot clock. So now Isles will get it in from the baseline, more like the corner on the near side. He'll get it into McCorkle successfully on the left wing. Now it's back in the hands of Isles. 17:05 to play in the second half. Capital with a 42-36 lead. Three-pointer on the way for Russell. That is no good. And Wildermuth chases down the rebound for Capital. It's ahead to Geisy. Kurt trying to push it. Kurt trying to go down the lane. Gets his man up in the air and then scores with the right hand. Capital 44. Wilmington 36. Nice move in the lane by Kurt Geisy. Geisy with 10 points in this game. McCorkle on the left wing. He'll dribble on in. McCorkle, jump hook, no good. Rebound taken by Hanna. Geisy now pushing it for Capital. And now Geisy's going to be called for the offensive charge as Isles claps his hand with joy after he set his feet on that particular play. Brandon Smith, the 6-foot freshman from Lebanon, Ohio, now checks in for Wilmington. So now Wilmington has outscored Capital 7-4 in the second half. Brief stoppage of play, and now we're good to go. Wilmington will now inbound it as DJ Isles, the 5'10" sophomore from Fayetteville, Ohio, brings the ball up the court. Isles will now go down the lane, off the glass, and in! And Isles is pumped. Capital 44, Wilmington 38. The Quakers have come out on fire here in the second half. They have outscored Capital 9-4. They quickly get it ahead to Minch. Minch not able to finish with the left hand. Now here comes Wilmington on the other end. Isles driving down the lane. Now it's kicked back out to Jackson. Jackson will now slow his roll. Now it's over to Jones. Jones will drive on in and score with his right hand. And Andy Winters calls a timeout. And it looks like he's going to need a full timeout here. We'll take a timeout as well. 15:52 remain in the second half. Capital 44, Wilmington 40. This is your home for Crusaders men's basketball, the Capital Sports Network.
Ed, what is that bizarre contraption?
It's my latest Jimmy John's online ordering enhancement, sir.
Really?
Yes, sir. You know our popular Jimmy John's online ordering service?
Yes, click, order, eat.
This is the perfect time-saving companion.
How perfect, Ed?
Presenting the Jimmy John's F4000 three-dimensional sandwich printer.
Oh, boy.
See, we put one of these babies in the home of every Jimmy John's customer.
Uh-huh.
They order the sandwich online.
Uh-huh.
And we send a signal to the F4000 to make their sandwich.
Ed, how much does one of these babies cost?
With the quantity discount, $50,000, sir.
And how long does it take to print a sandwich?
About 8 hours, sir.
Do you see where I'm going with this?
So back to the drawing board?
No, stay away from the drawing board, Ed.
Brugger's Bagels has been bringing authentic New York-style bagels, breakfast foods, coffee, soups, and more to the world since 1983, and there is a location in Bexley ready to get your day started right. Located on 2510 East Main Street, Brugger's is open Monday through Friday from 5:30 a.m. to 4 p.m., and Saturdays and Sundays from 6:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Brugger's also can cater your next event and can be reached by phone at 614-236-4000. Brugger's Bagels is proud to support Capital University Athletics.
15:52 remain in the second half, and boy, it has been a hot start in the second half for Wilmington. They have cut the lead to 4. They have outscored Capital 11-4 in the second half. It's now a 44-40 lead for Capital with only 15:52 remaining in the second half. Still plenty of time left in this game. Wilmington has clearly gotten back into this game. Minch drives on in and scores with the right hand. A nice start to quell this Wilmington rally, if you will. Mark Minch now with 18 points. Quakers now back with the basketball. Brandon Smith dribbling around towards the free throw line. Now it's swung over to McCorkle. McCorkle loses it, but gets the ball back. Maintains possession for Wilmington. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Isles trying to drive. Kicks it to Smith. Smith, long jumper, no good, and the rebound taken by Will Hanna. Kirk Geisy now across the half-court line. He'll go inside to Minch. Minch looking to go to work. Minch, jumper, good for Mark Minch. 20 points for Mark Minch. Came in here averaging 21.2. He'll pass that season average, I am sure. Isles over to McCorkle. McCorkle now over to Christian Jones. Jones Back outside for three. That is no good for Smith. And now a foul called against Wilmington on the inside. Second team foul on the Quakers, but more importantly, it gives Capital the ball back. Caleb Cox will come back in for Capital. Meanwhile, coming in for Wilmington will be Will Patrick. Patrick, 6'2" freshman from Chester, Pennsylvania, but he went to Pickerington Central right here in Columbus. Guys, he will now inbound it, and Wilmington is going with that full court press. Capital's got a hurry hill. Will Hanna to Geisy, and now Wilmington backs off. Geisy will now get it across half court to the left wing. Passes off to Wildermuth. Wildermuth, top of the arc, now over to Hanna. Hanna dribbling in. Hanna off the glass and gets it to roll on down. Capital 50, Wilmington 40. Crusaders doing a nice job here of getting back into the flow of things until that foul is called against Kurt Geisy. Trying to defend Isles, who was seemingly running out of control there. Got bailed out by a call by our officiating crew. Meanwhile, Tyrell Jackson comes in. Wilmington still with possession. Patrick running the point for right now for Wilmington. Passes off to Nathan Scott. Scott near the left wing. Now he's near the top of the arc. He'll dribble on in before getting it back out to Patrick. 13 on the shot clock. Patrick, he'll go inside to Pittman. Pittman back out to Christian Jones. Now it's over to Scott. Scott loses it out of bounds, and it will be Capital basketball. A couple more substitutions for Wilmington. Andrew Russell and Zach McCorkle check back in for the Quakers, who trail Capital 50-40. 13:44 remaining in the second half. Geisy handling the basketball, pointing out traffic, gets it off to Jackson. Jackson near the top of the arc, bounces it over to Wildermuth. Wildermuth now inside to Minch near the foul line. Minch dribbles, jumper, good for Mark Minch. Boy, everything is dropping for Mark Minch at this point. He's now 8 of 11 from the field, 22 points for the former Ohio Dominican Panther, now Capital Crusader. Connor Casey, meanwhile, drives on in, and he is fouled by Kurt Geisy. Another foul on Capital, their fourth of the second half, actually third, excuse me. Geisy checks out, so does Minch. Weingartner and Joe Thomas come in. Let's see if Joe Thomas can give Capital some good minutes here. Early on in the season, Thomas was a bench beast, but since then, you could say it's hit the freshman wall. McCorkle, meanwhile, had a shot blocked. Now a jump ball is going to be called, as McCorkle was clearly frustrated. He wanted contact on that play. Because the possession arrow is in the favor of Wilmington, the Quakers will maintain possession. Connor Casey, former Upper Arlington Golden Bear, inbounds it from the baseline. He'll get it in. Almost picked up by Tyrell Jackson, but instead it settles in the hands of Jones. Jones will dribble in, gets it off to McCorkle. McCorkle drives on in and scores two. Capital 52, Wilmington 42, 12:50 remaining in the second half. Weingartner trying to go to work against Casey. And now a foul is called. Looks like against Will Patrick, as he got a little too handsy that time. Of course, with the hand check fouls, that is so focused on in terms of officiating in college basketball these days, no matter what the level, Division I all the way down to Division III. That's the 13th foul on Wilmington. So now Joe Thomas will inbound it from basically from Capital's bench. He is right in front of Capital assistant coach Anthony Golson. Gets it into Wildermuth. Wildermuth double team. Thomas nearly loses it, but Koski is able to get it right back. Then they go inside the Joe Thomas, who's wide open under the rim for two. 54-42. Capital with a 12-point lead, under 12.5 to play in the second half. Dribble inside by Russell. Russell not able to get the shot to go. Thomas grabs the rebound, and he also got fouled by Russell. So now the 14th foul on Wilmington, as Capital once again gets the ball back. Tell you what, the rebounds are starting to pile up for Capital. They have a 31-17 advantage over Wilmington in that department. Usually bodes well for your team if you're able to clean the glass effectively, and that's what Capital's been able to do tonight. Weingartner, top of the arc, bounce it over to Hannah. Will on the left wing, now inside the Joe. Thomas near the foul line, trying to get it to somebody, but DJ Oz is doing a great job of just flailing his arms everywhere and trying to deflect the pass. Hannah gets the shot off, and that is going to be a shot clock violation. So Wilmington back with the ball. 11:51 to play in the second half. It is Capital leading Wilmington 54-42. Quick substitution for Wilmington as Christian Jones comes back into the ball game for the Quakers. Mark Minch with 22 points for Capital, the leading scorer for the Crusaders. Meanwhile, Christian Jones with 13, the most for Wilmington. And speaking of Wilmington, they'll take a timeout. We'll take a timeout as well. 11:45 remain in the second half. Capital leading Wilmington 54-42. This is your home for Crusaders men's basketball, the Capital Sports Network.
Army ROTC is one of the best leadership courses in the country and can be a part of your college curriculum. As a potential or current student at Capital University, learning to become a leader will make your college experience even richer and prepare you for the future. Capital Army ROTC can provide scholarships and many more benefits to those who enroll, but the biggest benefit will be experienced firsthand after joining. For more information on Capital Army ROTC, testimonials, and an in-depth look at what the program can offer you, go to www.capital.edu/ROTC.
This is a message for the nurses among us, for those who dream of saving lives, for those who are driven to improve care, and for those ready to help heal what's broken, be it a single bone fracture or an entire hospital system. Capital University's advanced nursing programs are built for you. Engaged faculty, immersive learning, and intimate classes where you'll know everyone's name. To learn more, visit capital.edu/nursing. Advanced nursing at Capital University, for those driven to do more.
11:45 remaining in the second half. Capital leading Wilmington 54-42. That's the score for the men's game. As for the women, they are all tied at 22 with 1:51 remaining in the second quarter. And again, we will keep you updated as time progresses with that game over in Wilmington. They go inside. McCorkle wide open, and he scores with the right hand. Capital 54, Wilmington 44. And Wilmington once again goes with the full court press. Hannah loses the ball. Now it's to Weingartner. Over to Wildermuth now. And Capital able to get it across half court, thank goodness. Now it's over to Hannah. Hannah on the right wing. Into Thomas. Thomas backing down, puts up a shot, and Joe gets it to roll on down. Nice tough move there by the former Centennial star, Joe Thomas. 56-44, 10:55 remaining in regulation. Russell, three, good. Russell knocks it down. It's a 9-point lead as Wilmington cuts the Capital lead to single digits. Cox, now to Wildermuth. Wildermuth looking for some help. Now to Weingartner. Up to Hannah. Hannah, had Thomas wide open down there in the lane, but didn't like to go over the pass. But a foul was called on the inside against Wilmington. Looks like a blocking foul was called against Jordan Jones. Michael Green, meanwhile, will check in for Caleb Cox. Austin Schreck comes back in for Gavin Wildermuth. And Mark Minch will also come back in for Capital as well. For Joe Thomas. So Schreck will now inbound it from the baseline. He'll get it into Green. Green near the top of the arc. Now over to Weingartner. Fresh shot clock for Capital. Green near the left wing. Inside to Minch. Minch lost it! And Wilmington comes away with the loose ball. Isles is streaking up the court. Like a blur, he finishes with the right hand. Boy, DJ Isles, the sophomore from Fayetteville, Ohio, he has got some wheels. Capital 56, Wilmington 49. The Quakers continue to hang around in this game. Minch from downtown. That's no good. Barrel for the loose ball. Schreck almost had it. Minch almost had it. But in the end, Christian Jones comes away with it for Wilmington. Now another three-pointer for Jones. That's no good. And Schreck with another rebound. Now it's to Weingartner. Weingartner got the stop sign from Coach Winters. Just trying to slow things up. Now in the half court, it's Minch on the left wing to Schreck. Schreck trying to drive baseline, pass. Now it's to Hanna. Hanna dribbles in. Green off the glass. Count the bucket and a foul. Michael Green able to get that one to go. Nice passing along the baseline. First Schreck to Hanna. Then they bounced inside to Green. And they were able to find the senior from Dublin, Ohio successfully. So now Green will look to try to complete the three-point play. Push this lead back up to 10. Free throw, no good for Green, and it stays a 9-point advantage for Capital. Still single digits for Wilmington. 9-10 remain in the second half. Christian Jones dribbles in. Three-pointer for Smith. No good. And the rebound is taken by Schreck. Gives it to Weingartner now. Quickly across half court is the former Centerville Elk. Now inside to Minch. Minch trying to dribble in. Lays it up and in with the right hand. Mark Minch able to finger roll it to the hoop. He's now got 24 points. Mercy. And now count the bucket and a foul. A drive by Christian Jones successful. Got fouled on the inside. And now he'll head to the free throw line to try to complete the three-point play and try to cut this lead that Capital currently has to 8. So now Jones will head to the free throw line. Jones's free throw no good. And the rebound taken by Minch. Kirk Geisey now with the basketball for Capital, who leads Wilmington 60-51. 8:25 remain in the second half. Schreck spins around from Isles, trying to drive on in, forces up a tough shot. That's no good. Ball tipped up in the air a couple times. Geisey saves it for Capital to Minch. Minch drives in. Did not score, but he was fouled, so now he'll head to the free throw line. I tell you what, Kirk Geisey is just one of those players that just lays it on the line every time he steps out onto the hard court. Case in point, a ball seemingly headed out of bounds near the corner of the court. Somehow has the presence of mind to keep his feet in bounds before saving the basketball. Kirk Geisey just knows how to hustle. Mark Minch, meanwhile, knocks down his first free throw attempt. Pushes the Capital lead back up to double digits, 61-51 with 8:11 remaining in regulation. Zach McCorkle will come back in, the former Winton Woods product out of the Cincinnati area. And now the second free throw upcoming here for Minch. Second free throw's good. Make it now 26 points for Mark Minch. Capital 62, Wilmington 51. 8:04 remaining in regulation. Loose ball, but Isles gets it back for Wilmington. He now gets it over to Jackson. Now to Jones. Jones trying to dribble in. Out to Isles for three. That is no good. But McCorkle with a strong offensive rebound. Tries to get the pass out to the perimeter, but it is Schreck who picks it off. Schreck now on the left wing. Over to Geisey. Geisey gets fouled by McCorkle. That'll be the 18th foul on Wilmington. So now Capital will be shooting free throws the rest of the way, which means Kirk Geisey will be making a visit to the Cherry Stripe, the Delphus, Ohio native. Meanwhile, McCorkle will check out. Andrew Russell will check back in for the Quakers. This is a Wilmington team that only has 12 total players on its roster. Normally you see teams with upwards of 15, 16, 17 players on the roster, but Wilmington only has 12. This is a coach in K.C. Hunt who's trying to build this program from the ground up, and apparently there were a couple of players here and there from the previous regime that didn't want to stick around. So that really hurt the depth of this Quaker squad as Geisy makes the first free throw but misses the second. It's a 63-51 lead for Capital. Under 7.5 to play in regulation. Isles swings it over to Jackson. Jackson being guarded by Geisy. Jackson on the left wing. Still trying to get it on over to a teammate. Gets it over to Lyle successfully, although that ball hung up in the air for a long time. Russell for three. Knocks it through. And Wilmington will now take a timeout. We'll step aside once again. 7:13 remain in the second half. It is Capital 63, Wilmington 54. You're on your home for Crusaders men's basketball, the Capital Sports Network.
With 14 TVs to watch your favorite team or the next big event, Planks Cafe and Pizzeria in German Village is ready for you and your group today. Plenty of free parking, free Wi-Fi, banquet rooms for private parties, and daily specials. What more reason do you need to visit Planks Cafe and Pizzeria? Planks is located at 743 Parsons Avenue and has been serving the Columbus community since 1939. Planks is on the web at plankscafe.com or available by phone at 614-443-6251. Planks Cafe and Pizzeria is a proud supporter of Crusader Athletics.
7:13 remain in the second half. Capital holds a 63-54 advantage over Wilmington as the Crusaders look to close out the Quakers here tonight at the Cap Center. Geisy will successfully get it inbounds to Minch. Wilmington kind of sort of going with that full court press, but they quickly abandon it. Minch brings it across half court. He's twisting and turning, gets it into Green, who is able to lay it off the glass and in. Michael Green with 10 points in this game, out of bounds, and it will be Capital basketball. Green becomes the third player for Capital this evening to tally double figures in scoring. Green has got 10. Kirk Geisy has 11. And Mark Minch is your leading scorer by a long shot. He's got 26. Geisy, meanwhile, towards the half court as Capital is taking his dear sweet time here in the half court. Green dribbles in, floater, no good. Loose ball, out of bounds. It will be Wilmington basketball. So Capital with an 11-point lead. Another substitution for Wilmington. Nathan Scott, 6'3" sophomore out of Sardinia, Ohio, will come in for the Quakers. He will inbound to DJ Isles. Isles across half court. Isles now over to Will Patrick. To Russell. Back to Isles on the left wing. Isles dribbling to his right. Now over to Jones. Jones trying to dribble in, back out to Isles. Isles on the left wing, thought about a three. Nearly loses the ball, being guarded by Schreck. 7 seconds on the shot clock, and he was fouled by Schreck initially, but then he gets slammed to the turf by Minch after the foul was called. Isles was able to get off the floor, and then some choice words from Isles in the direction of Minch. And now our referees are getting together. I would hope that they would not call an intentional foul here on Minch or some sort of technical foul. Looks like they're just going to stick with just the regular call of a foul. It was on the floor. Capital was 16 fouls after that foul against Schreck. Schreck takes a seat now. Coming back in is Gavin Wildermuth, the 6'3" freshman from Botkins, Ohio. Isles will inbound it from the baseline meanwhile. Still trying to get it in. Still trying to get it in. Has it tipped up in the air. Mark Minch nearly had it stolen. Now he steals it and scores with the left hand. Patrick had gotten back to the ball for Wilmington in the backcourt, but Minch stayed with it, poked it away from him, and then scored with the left hand. Goodness gracious, Mark Minch is a beast. Meanwhile, Will Patrick scores within the inside for Wilmington. Wilmington once again just hanging around. Capital with a 67-56 lead, approaching 5.5 to play. Geisy to Minch. Minch Twists inside, gets it outside. Green thought about a three, but instead just swings it over to Geisy as Capital just looks to burn some clock here. 10 on the shot clock. Minch on the right wing. Trying to decide what to do with the basketball this time, but instead Green is going to be called for an offensive foul as he was perhaps trying to clear some space for Minch in the lane. So now Wilmington gets the ball back. 5:19 remaining in regulation. Isles once again running the point for Wilmington. Brings it across half court. Directing traffic now over to the left wing. Isles, all 5'10" of him being guarded by Michael Green, who's 6'6". Lets up a three, and Isles knocks it down anyway. It is Capital 67, Wilmington 59. 4:56 remaining in regulation. It's ahead to Wildermuth, who loses it out of bounds, and Wilmington gets the ball back now. Just when you think Capital was pulling away, Wilmington has a little bit more fight left in them. Timeout. We'll step aside once again. 4:53 remaining in the second half. It is Capital 67, Wilmington 59. You're listening to Crusaders men's basketball here on the Capital Sports Network.
Dill's Greenhouse is a local family business dedicated to offering the best shopping experience and honest prices for your gardening needs. If you're in need of annuals, perennials, vegetable plants, or any variety of gardening tools and resources, Dill's Greenhouse is more than happy to get you on the right path. Dill's Greenhouse is located at 5800 Rager Road in Groveport, Ohio, and is open 7 days a week. Visit them online for more information at dillsgreenhouse.net. Dill's Greenhouse. Only nature does it better.
Ed, what is that bizarre contraption?
It's my latest Jimmy John's online ordering enhancement, sir.
Really?
Yes, sir. You know our popular Jimmy John's online ordering service?
Yes, click, order, eat.
This is the perfect time-saving companion.
How perfect, Ed?
Presenting the Jimmy John's F4000 three-dimensional sandwich printer.
Oh, boy.
See, we put one of these babies in the home of every Jimmy John's customer.
Uh-huh.
They order the sandwich online.
Uh-huh.
And we send a signal to the F4000 to make their sandwich.
Ed, how much does one of these babies cost?
With the quantity discount, $50,000, sir.
And how long does it take to print a sandwich?
About 8 hours, sir.
Do you see where I'm going with this?
So back to the drawing board?
No, stay away from the drawing board, Ed.
4:53 remaining in the second half. It's still a ball game here, folks. Capital 67, Wilmington 59. Capital trying to put away Wilmington, but it just seems like the Quakers have these little scoring spurts as they try to just battle back into the game. By the way, speaking of scores, 8:42 remain in the third quarter at Wilmington. The women's team for Capital trailing the Quakers 27-26 in that ball game. Meanwhile, back to our game. McCorkle being guarded by Green. Now back out to Isles. Isles now inside of McCorkle. Trying to go to work on the right block, but instead back out to Isles. Now back inside to McCorkle. McCorkle. Jumper is good off the glass. He was sandwiched in between two Capital defenders, but McCorkle was still able to get it to go. Wow. Green trying to get it across half court. Does so. Now it's to Kirk Geisy. 18 on the shot clock as we approach 4 minutes remaining in regulation. Capital up by 6. Minch trying to decide what to do here. On the right wing, spins inside, gets it into Wildermuth, who scores! Great drive by Minch, who got it inside to Wildermuth, and Gavin was able to finish at the rim. Capital 69, Wilmington 61. Jumper for Russell. No good, but the rebound is for Jones, but then it's stripped, and Hannah comes away with the loose ball. 3:40 remaining in the second half. Capital with a 69-61 lead. Minch gets his man up in the air, drives on in, kicks out to Geisy for three. Good for Kirk Geisy. Capital 72, Wilmington 61, 3:20 remaining in regulation. TJ Isles now over to Will Patrick. Patrick in the corner being guarded heavily by Hannah. Patrick gets the ball back on the inside, got fouled, missed the shot, but he was fouled by Hannah. So now Patrick will head to the free throw line. Wilmington not going away just yet. So now Patrick heading to the free throw line. Will Patrick, a 6'2" freshman from Chester, Pennsylvania. Well, he went to school right here in Columbus. Pick Central grad. And the first free throw is good. Patrick on the season, a 93% free throw shooter heading into tonight. He's done very well for the Cherry Stripes so far. Second free throw, no good. Minch with the rebound. Cross half court. Now over to Hanna. Now to Wildermuth. Back in the hands of Geisy. And now at this point, Capital will just look to run some clock here. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Minch looking to go to work on the left wing. Pulls up for a three. No good. It's batted up in the air, but Geisy not able to save it, but then Capital gets the ball back. I think they're going to reverse this. Yep, they are. They're going to give the ball to Wilmington. Geisy was the one who was chasing the ball out of bounds, and he nearly knocked a guy who was working the scoreboard tonight. That would not have been good. Capital 72, Wilmington 62. 2:40 remaining in regulation. Isles drives in. He got fouled by Green, so now Isles will head to the free throw line. Boy, Isles has come up big here tonight for Wilmington. He'll head to the free throw line with already 11 points and also 4 assists. Fayetteville, Ohio native. Steps to the free throw line. His right foot slightly in front of his left foot. As the first free throw is good, kind of going with a stagger motion, if you will. Here comes the second free throw for Isles. That one is good as well. 13 points in the game for DJ Isles. And again, Wilmington just hangs around. They feed it ahead to Minch. Minch lays it up with the left hand. What a read by Kurt Geisy. He saw Minch get free along the near side of the baseline. And like a quarterback finding a wide receiver on a go route, he hit Minch perfectly with a pass for 2. Inside, floater in the lane, no good for Jones, and Green grabs an important rebound for Capital. It's a 74-64 lead for Cap. 2:07 remaining in regulation. And now a whistle and a foul called, looks like, against Brandon Smith, as he was trying to guard Gavin Wildermuth. Wildermuth now heading to the free throw line on the season. Gavin has shot 50% from the free throw line, and that won't help his free throw percentage as he misses the front end of a 1-and-1. 2 minutes to play in regulation. Isles over to Smith. Smith drives in, and he gets the bucket to go with a foul against Will Hanna. Boy, it's been a rough night for Will Hanna tonight. So now Brandon Smith to the free throw line. 19 foul on Capital. Next foul will put Wilmington to the double bonus. Capital is already in the 1-and-1. Wilmington's also got 9 fouls in the second half. So Brandon Smith shooting 69.6% from the foul line. At the free throw line right now. Trying to complete the three-point play. It's up, and it rattles home for Smith. 7-point lead for Capital. 74-67 in favor of the Crusaders. Geisy gets it into Green. Green looking to break the press. And now a reach-in foul is going to be called against Andrew Russell. That's the 10th team foul on Wilmington, which means that Capital will be shooting double free throws the rest of the way. So Green at the free throw line. First toss, good. Green on the season, 77.1% from the foul line. Meanwhile, Zach McCorkle checks back in for Wilmington. One more free throw toss-up coming for Green. Second free throw is good. And now a timeout's going to be taken by Capital. Well, 1:54 remaining in the second half. Capital looking to close out Wilmington. They lead the Quakers 76-67. You're listening to Crusaders men's basketball here on the Capital Sports Network.
OSU Sports Medicine is a proud supporter of Crusader student athletes by providing sports health services for Capital University athletics and student health services. Through the work and care of team physicians and athletic trainers, it's the team behind your team. For all fans, if you're looking to improve your physical performance, recover from an injury, or stay active for a lifetime, the experts at Ohio State Sports Medicine are there for you. Visit sportsmedicine.osu.edu or call 366-4332.
This is a message for all those MBA seekers out there. For the junior exec who'd rather be senior. For the VP yearning to be CEO. And for everyone who'd call their job not just a profession, but a passion. Capital University's MBA program was built exclusively for professionals, experienced faculty, flexible schedules, and classmates you'll soon consider colleagues. Learn more at capital.edu/MBA. The Capital University MBA, for those driven to do more.
.154 remaining in regulation. It is Capital leading Wilmington 76-67. That's the men's score. Meanwhile, the women continue to struggle at Wilmington. They trail the Quakers 37-31 with 3:45 remain in the third quarter. We'll have those scores and other scores coming up during the post-game show brought to you by Peking Dynasty. Meanwhile, ball out of bounds, and it will be Capital basketball as Brandon Smith lost out of bounds. During the Peking Dynasty postgame show, we'll take a look at scores around the OAC, take a look at final stats, and we'll even have a chance to talk with Coach Winters and our player of the game. So stick around for that. All that coming up on the Peking Dynasty postgame show. A couple players in for Wilmington now. Will Patrick checks in, as does Chris Jackson. 1:44 remaining in the second half. Capital with a 76-67 lead. Geisy trying to navigate the full court press by Wilmington. Does so. Gets it over to Wildermuth. Now it's over to Will Hanna. Hanna on the left wing, and a foul is going to be called against DJ Isles. Hanna was very lucky that time as he was swinging his elbows a little bit against Isles. No harm, no foul. So now Will Hanna goes to the free throw line. Hanna at the cherry stripe, 84%. Didn't look like that on that shot as he missed it. Barely grazed front iron, as a matter of fact. Zach McCorkle and Andrew Russell check in for Wilmington. Let's see if Will can redeem himself here with his second free throw. And that is good. It's a 10-point lead for Capital with a minute and a half to play. DJ Isles, cross half court. Being guarded by Wildermuth. It's out to Jones. Jones out to McCorkle for three. That's no good. And the rebound is taken by Hanna. A key rebound at that. 1:12 remaining in regulation. Hanna being hounded defensively. Nearly loses the ball. Gets it to Green now. Green on the right wing. Lays it up and in. Michael Green taking advantage of some space and doing work with it. It's Capital 79, Wilmington 67. Russell for three. That's no good. Tipped up in the air. McCorkle comes down with it. Jumper good for McCorkle. And now another timeout is going to be taken by Wilmington. We will keep it right here at the Capital Center for right now. 49.9 seconds remaining in regulation. It is Capital 79, Wilmington 69. Another score update for you involving the women. They trail Wilmington 39-33 with 2:50 remaining in the third quarter. Capital as a team in that game is shooting 36.8% from the field. Your leading scorer for the Crusaders in that one is Jenna Irwin. She's got 10 points. Colleen Fondesi also having a decent game. She's got 8 points in that game for the Crusaders. As for our game on the men's side, Capital shooting 57% from the field, only 2 of 10 from three-point range. They have not made a single three-pointer in the second half thus far. Good for 20% from beyond the arc. 13 of 20 from the free throw line, good for 65%. Again, it's that rebounding advantage that has really helped out Capital in this game. 39-26 in favor of Capital. Each team has turned the ball over 13 times. Your leading scorer for Capital, Mark Minch, 30 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Kirk Geisey has 14. Michael Green has 16 points. Zach McCorkle leads Wilmington with 16. Christian Jones has 15 for the Quakers. And DJ Isles has also had a nice game. He's got 13 for the Fighting Quakers. 49.9 seconds remain in regulation. Capital with a 10-point lead, 79-69. Capital with the ball. But they will have to go the full length of the court here as Wilmington will get set to go in their full court press. Geisey inbounds it from the baseline. He'll get it into Wildermuth. Wildermuth gets fouled immediately by Brandon Smith. And now Wilmington has no choice but to foul here. Capital in the double bonus from here on out. And here comes Gavin Wildermuth. First free throw is no good. That's now 2 missed free throws in this game for Wildermuth, who came in 2 of 4 from the free throw line, so not really a large sample size for the freshman from Botkins, Ohio. Second free throw. Boy, that's no good as well. Under 43 seconds as Wilmington comes away with the rebound. Isles, step back, drives in the lane, has his shot blocked by Michael Green. Green said, "Nuh-uh, not my lane." Unfortunately, it went off of Capital, and Wilmington gets the ball back. 38 seconds to go. Capital still with a 10-point lead. Isles trying to get it in. He'll get it into McCorkle. McCorkle to Smith. Brandon Smith drives on in. Missed the shot, but the main thing is he will now go to the free throw line and have a chance to cut into this Capital lead. It stops the clock with 32.9 seconds remaining. So Brandon Smith, the Lebanon, Ohio native, steps to the line. Shot up, and good. Coming into the ball game for Wilmington, Chris Jackson and Will Patrick, as Wilmington will just try to put as many perimeter players out there as possible. Second free throw, no good, and the rebound is grabbed by Minch. Minch is fouled by Isles, and Minch will now head to the free throw line. 31.4 seconds remaining. So Minch will have a chance to add to his 30 points tonight. He's 11 of 16 from the field, 1 of 3 from three-point range. Traditionally, he struggles from the foul line, but tonight he's been pretty sharp from the Cherry Stripes, 7 of 8 from that spot on the floor. So Minch now at the free throw line. He has bounced the basketball. First free throw is good for Minch. Minch, a native of the Queen City of Cincinnati. Capital very happy that this young man is on their team after he transferred in from Ohio Dominican. Second free throw good. 81-70. Capital with the lead. 25 seconds to go. Jumper in the lane. Foul is called, stopping the clock with 24.9 seconds to go. And once again, Brandon Smith will head to the free throw line. So Smith will head to the free throw line once again. First free throw, no good. Smith will now get the ball once again. Second free throw, that's good. Capital 81, Wilmington 71. 24.9 seconds to go. Wildermuth gets it into Minch. Minch will feed it ahead to Kirk Geisey. Geisey will run forward and then pull it back, do the smart thing. The shot clock has been turned off. Wilmington will not foul. Wilmington gave it their all, but in the end, it is Capital who is able to finish off the Quakers. The final score from the Capital Center will be the Crusaders 81, Wilmington 71. With the win tonight, Capital improves to 10-8 overall and 6-5 in OAC play. Meanwhile, Wilmington drops to 3-13 overall and 2-8 within conference play. Coming up, we'll have the Peking Dynasty postgame show for you. We'll take a look at the final stats. We'll have a chance to catch up with head coach Andy Winters, and we'll also talk with tonight's player of the game. So stick around for that. Again, our final score, Capital 81, Wilmington 71. This has been your home for Crusaders men's basketball, the Capital Sports Network.
Brugger's Bagels has been bringing authentic New York-style bagels, breakfast foods, coffee, soups, and more to the world since 1983, and there is a location in Bexley ready to get your day started right. Located on 2510 East Main Street, Brugger's is open Monday through Friday from 5:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Saturdays and Sundays from 6:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Brugger's also can cater your next event and can be reached by phone at 614-236-4000. Brugger's Bagels is proud to support Capital University Athletics.
When looking for great food at low price, be sure to visit Peking Dynasty on the corner of Livingston and Sheridan right near the Capital University campus. Peking Dynasty has a large selection of Chinese food and sushi, along with great-tasting chicken and beef selections that can please any appetite. In addition, Capital University students receive discounts with a valid ID any day of the week. That's Peking Dynasty on the corner of Livingston and Sheridan right near the Capital campus, where we are proud to say, Go Cap!
This is a message for all those MBA seekers out there. For the junior exec who'd rather be senior. For the VP yearning to be CEO. And for everyone who'd call their job not just a profession, but a passion. Capital University's MBA program was built exclusively for professionals, experienced faculty, flexible schedules, and classmates you'll soon consider colleagues. Learn more at capital.edu/MBA. The Capital University MBA, for those driven to do more.
Hello, everyone. Welcome into the Peking Dynasty postgame show. Tonight, it is Capital who defeats Wilmington by a final score of 81-71. The Crusaders getting a much-needed win. They are going to be going up against the meat of the OAC here rather soon, with tough games coming up against Mount Union, John Carroll, and Marietta, the top three teams in the OAC, as a matter of fact. It was good for Capital to get this win tonight, improving their record to 10-8 overall and 6-5 within conference play. Let's now go ahead and take a look at the final stats of this game. First for Wilmington, the Quakers shot 43.9% from the field, 26.3% from three-point range, 5 of 19 from beyond the arc, and 16 of 24 at the free throw line, good for 66.7%. Leading scorer for Wilmington tonight was Zach McCorkle. He had 16 points and 8 rebounds, 7 of 14 shooting, 2 of 4 from the foul line. 15 points for Christian Jones, 13 points for DJ Isles to go along with 4 assists. 9 points for Andrew Russell, 6 points for Chris Jackson, 7 points for Brandon Smith, 3 points for Will Patrick, and 2 points for Nathan Scott. Meanwhile, for Capital, the Crusaders shot 57.1% from the field. They shot 2 of 10 from three-point range, good for 20%. From the free throw line, Capital shot 15 of 24, good for 62.5%. And for Capital, the leading scorer, once again, a marvelous performance from Mark Minch. 32 points, 7 rebounds, also had 4 assists in this game. Minch shot 11 of 16 from the field, 1 of 3 from three-point range, and 9 of 10 from the foul line as well. He was getting it done all over the court this evening. 16 points for Michael Green, 14 points for Kurt Geisey. Austin Schreck is 4 points. Will Hanna had 3. 4 points for Joe Thomas, and then 2 points each for Gavin Wildermuth, Joey Weingartner, Tyrell Jackson, and Caleb Cox. In terms of other statistics that stood out in this game, it was Capital who out-rebounded Wilmington 40-28. In terms of turnovers, both teams turned the ball over 13 times. 10 assists apiece for Wilmington and Capital. And let's see here, 3 blocks for Capital, 2 blocks for Wilmington. We're still waiting for head coach Andy Winters to come on up here. In the meantime, let's go ahead and get you updated with scores around the OAC. A busy night within the conference, as it usually is on a Wednesday night. Right now, it is John Carroll leading Heidelberg 62-57 with 11:36 to play in the second half. 9:08 remaining at Muskingum. The Muskies trail Marietta 81-70 in that one. Baldwin Wallace is in a dogfight with Mount Union. They lead the Purple Raiders 72-71 with 5:28 remaining in regulation, and Ohio Northern holds a 70-61 advantage over Otterbein with 10:15 remaining in the second half. Again, another score update for the women's side, and it's looking more and more like do or die time for Capital here as the women continue to trail Wilmington. Quakers hold a 47-42 lead over Wilmington with 7:59 remaining in the fourth quarter, so there's still some time for a rally in that game. Coach Dixie Jeffers was telling me earlier this week that Wilmington is just one of those places that it's really, really tough to play. It's a place where Capital tends to really struggle. And right now, Wilmington has just added a bucket. So now it's 49-42 in favor of the Quakers with 7:29 remaining in the fourth quarter. We'll keep you updated on that game in just a moment. Again, if you're just joining us, Capital defeating Wilmington tonight by a final of 81-71. We are still waiting for Andy Winters to come on up here. I was talking with Coach Winters earlier today about how there have been a lot of games for Capital in which they either have the lead at halftime, but they let it fritter away in the second half before losing, or they dig themselves a big hole. They come back, they have this big rally, but then they fall short in the end. But tonight, Capital did a very nice job of A, getting off to the fast start, B, withstanding the strong charges that Wilmington had, and they had some really strong charges, particularly at the beginning of the second half, where they were able to cut the lead to as much as 5, and then C, finally, Capital able to pull away in the end, defeating Wilmington by a final of 81-71. We'll step aside for just a little bit. When we come back, hopefully we'll be talking with Coach Winters here. This is the Peking Dynasty postgame show here on your home for Crusaders men's basketball, the Capital Sports Network. Welcome back to the Peking Dynasty postgame show, everyone. Again, it is Capital who defeats Wilmington tonight by a final of 81-71. It's now time for a special segment of our postgame show. It's the postgame player interview brought to you by Jimmy John's, Freaky Fast Delivery, and World Class Catering. And it looks like, actually, we'll start with the coach's interview, as Andy Winters joins us in the broadcast booth. Well, Coach, we talked about before this game how the team had really struggled recently putting together a full game, 40 minutes of all-out hustle. You get off to the nice start. Wilmington had some nice pushes there, particularly at the beginning of the second half. But in the end, you were able to finish it off. That has to feel good.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a lot to work on still. When it comes down to playing with a little bit of pressure in transition and just slowing down and doing what we do well. But it's always good to continue to keep a lead in the second half, and we have a lot to work on, but I think our guys hung in there and got the win.
Mark Minch goes off tonight once again, 32 points, 7 rebounds. He even got his teammates involved a little bit with 4 assists. I mean, this is becoming old hat for this guy, right?
Yeah, I mean, we told Mark we rely on him a lot. I mean, we expect him to score for us. What he needs to work on are the other things, defensively and creating for others and limiting his turnover. So, Mark's gonna help us. If he does his role, he'll score, and then he'll continue to be a better player. By doing all these other little things.
Michael Green had 16 points. He was in double figures like Mark Minch. Also in double figures tonight was Kurt Geisig. We talked about in the pregame show how you really value Kurt's value in terms of his defense that he brings out there. But he was also able to score a little bit tonight, Coach, with 14 points.
Yeah, Curtis did a great job defensively for us. You know, he has a nickname, the Bulldog, and what he does well, you know, is when he works a guy up the court and then he gets it off a miss or off a turnover that he creates, he gets a full head of steam downhill, and he's really good at getting to the lane, even though he's smaller than most guys and finishing. So he's always balanced. He's always doing the right things, and Kurt's a big part of why we won this game.
So now the tough stretch in the season at Mount Union, at Marietta. John Carroll, let's now focus on the next game at Mount Union. You gave Mount Union all that they could handle here at the Capitol Center. What makes you think that you can go up to Alliance and perhaps bring the upset?
You know, what we're doing is we're getting better each day in practice, and our guys are really buying into this every possession, every day mindset. And I think that, you know, we're going to worry about tomorrow's practice and Friday's practice, and then come out Saturday and give it our all.
All right, Coach, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
That was head coach Andy Winters joining us here on the Peking Dynasty post-game show. Capital defeating Wilmington 81-71. And now we get to talk with our player of the game tonight, and we've changed things up a little bit. Normally we go with the leading scorer. That would have been Mark Minch here tonight, but instead they brought up Will Hanna to talk with me. So, Will, you had 8 rebounds in this game. Talk to me about the rebounding in this game as you were able to out-rebound Wilmington 40-28.
Well, rebounding is a team thing, and everyone has to box out, and I got lucky enough for a few to bounce my way. But if one person doesn't box out, then nothing like that happens, and we all boxed out and ended up doing us pretty well. You
know what I found interesting was you had 8 rebounds. Austin Schreck also was very, very active on the glass. You two are guards, but sometimes you guys like to play like post players a little bit.
Well, it all starts with Mike and Mark. If they box out their guys and their guys don't get it, the big dudes on the other team don't get it, then me and Schreck have an opportunity to go get the ball, and it makes it just a little bit easier for us, and we get kind of lucky sometimes.
So Mark Minch, I was telling Coach, goes off for 32 points. He has 7 rebounds. He's got 4 assists. This guy's unreal, isn't he?
He's a great player. He, I mean, when he makes those types of plays where you just your jaw drops and you're just like, wow. He creates for our team. He's awesome. He's a really good player.
The team itself shot 57% from the field tonight. A whole bunch of players scoring at least 2 points. Do you feel like the younger players, yourself, Austin Schreck, Joey Weingartner, Gavin Wildermuth, do you feel like the guys are starting to get it rolling here?
We are. Like Coach said earlier, we're getting better every day. And with a young team, that's really important. And we just have to keep playing consistent and keep getting better in practice, and it'll show on the court.
How good did it feel to finish this game? You know, there have been some games where you had the lead at the half, but you weren't able to finish it, where you dig yourself a big hole, you rally, but weren't able to pull it off in the end. It had to feel good to finish the game.
It felt great to finish the game. We've had so many leads this year, and we didn't lose this one, and we extended it, and it was really big for our team.
So now you go on the road at Mount Union this weekend. I was telling Coach this is going to be a tough stretch for you guys. You're at Mount Union, you're at Marietta, then a home game against John Carroll. You took Mount Union to the wire. What makes you think that you can spring the upset in Alliance this weekend?
We should have beat them the first time we had them here at the Capitol Center, and we have a chance to make a lot of noise with these 3 games coming up, and I think we're really excited, and we're going to be really focused on practice the next few days.
All right, well, thanks so much for joining us on the postgame show. Congratulations on the win tonight.
Thank you very much.
Will Hanna joining us here on the Peking Dynasty postgame show. Will Hanna with 3 points and 8 rebounds. He is our player of the game. That is brought to you by Donato's Pizza. So with the win tonight, Capital improves to 10-8 overall, 6-5 within OAC conference play. Let's go ahead and take a look at the scores here. That Baldwin-Wallace Mount Union game is actually going to be important. If Baldwin-Wallace loses that game to Mount Union, Capital will rise in the standings. They will go up to 4th. They were tied with Baldwin-Wallace for 4th in the conference standings before action started tonight. And looky here, Baldwin-Wallace losing to Mount Union 77, excuse me. Mount Union leading Baldwin-Wallace 79-77 with 1:42 remaining in the second half. As for the women, as we continue to watch that score, boy, things looking bleak for the women right now as they trail Wilmington 54-45 with 4:08 remaining in the fourth quarter in that one. Dixie Jeffers' crew is going to have to rally. Our next men's game that we will broadcast here on the Capital Sports Network won't be until Saturday, February 6th, the day before the Super. They will tip things off against John Carroll at 2 p.m. Pre-game show starting at 1:30. Our next broadcast period there. They will tip things off against John Carroll at 2 p.m. Pre-game show starting at 1:30. Our next broadcast period will be this Saturday. The women will be taking on Mount Union, and that ought to be a very interesting matchup. Obviously, Capital doing very well, top 15 team, although that ranking could take a little bit of a dip here if they are not able to figure things out against Wilmington really quickly. But that game against Mount Union will feature two players who are up for OAC Player of the Year honors, Kristen Thompson for Capital and the veteran guard Annie Bova for Mount Union. So that game will tip off at 3 o'clock. We'll have the pregame show for you starting at 2:30. Once again, our final score, Capital defeating Wilmington tonight by a final of 81-71. This is Charlie Danis saying so long from the Capital Center here in Bexley, Ohio.